Hey, Sassy fam, welcome to your Thursday check-in. I hope you're well. I hope you are fabulous. Just to note, in case you hear any background noises today of, say, Cinnamon playing aggressively, moving around, squeaky toys, maybe the occasional bark at her said squeaky toys, that's what's up. She's home with me today, and she's in a playful mood, which I absolutely love, and I try to encourage. I don't like disrupting it. I love seeing her play, and, it's a snow day for us, so naturally, everything is shut down. And it's beautiful. I have absolutely no complaints. I love a good snow day. So it was nice. We spent some good time outside early this morning before the sun was up. In fact, I took some footage of it and I posted it to Facebook. If you're so inclined, by the way, I am on Facebook. I do not practice tarot on Facebook once more. That's strictly on YouTube. For my Facebook page, which once more is Sassy Scorpion Tarot YouTube, I just kind of share random tidbits or nonsense about my life, and that includes Cinnamon and her mini shenanigans as well. It's snowy, it's beautiful, but it's dry, honey. Dry. It's a distinct lack of moisture. Moist. People apparently hate that word, moist. Don't know why. It's a perfectly good word. Anyway, complete lack of moisture. So when we put our contacts on this morning, they went like they blurred immediately. It's like, it's not going to happen, Chief. Not going to happen. You can try to shift them. You can try to nudge them. You can do the drops, but no, moisture's gone. It's not going to happen. So we had to opt for our glasses today. But it's absolutely gorgeous. Lovely weather. I want to get outside and play a little bit more. So let's talk about what we're doing today. Speaking of play. Intimate Tarot, yay! A channel, cornerstone, and favorite. Once more, if you are new, or frankly, we just need a refresher, cool, description box. Intimate Tarot, what's it about, what you can expect, whom it serves, the purpose of it, expectations, all that good stuff. Description box. It's a full-bodied, sexy description of what you can expect. Most of my regulars, they will tell you they're really not too dissimilar from the general love readings. I know, Pumpkin. Very good. Yes, you are correct. They're not too dissimilar from the general love readings, but the emphasis there is on the physical energy exchange between yourself and that person. And no, another common question. Do I have to be intimately connected to someone at present? No. Absolutely not. I can see new. I can see things ending. I can see a variety of relationships in between and what's going on there. I can still see, like in the general love readings, how people kind of get hung up on past sexual energies and why are we still engaging with it and looking at it? Why are we still attracted to it? So on and so forth. Like I said, description box. But just to let you know, I operate from that philosophy of the more you know. All energies are real and valid, right? And they're all worthy of looking at. There you go. And that reminds me, I had to really sit down and iron out the calendar. February is going to be a little aggressive, okay, for reasons of writing as well as YouTube stuff, right? Because I did promise in-depth for 3 months. So the dates for that are going to be the last week of February. February 24th through the 27th, you can expect your in-depth read for the 3-month overview. That is March, April, and May. Honey, we got to work out that calendar, okay? All right. Got to work out the kinks in the calendar, just like in our sexual energies. Otherwise, we're very confused and we don't know what the hell's going on. It's just like, there's this over here, there's that over there. What are we even doing? What are we trying to accomplish? Why am I even turned on by this? Why are you turned on by that? That's why we're here. Okay. Everything has kinks. And the more we know about it, we can work through it and understand how to make things less complicated and much more enjoyable. But yeah, my February schedule. Oh my. A little aggressive. I've got some aggressive kinks. All right, you guys, that's enough of that. Oh, which reminds me, though, and also looking at February, the next round of Intimate Tarot will literally be the Thursday before Valentine's Day, I believe, somewhere right around the 14th. So I said, you know what? Let's do full ham on this thing. It's just going to be red. It's going to be wall to wall red. I'll be all up in red, like just red. Just everything's red. It's going to be so red. Okay. You're going to put in the comments, Christina, are my eyes bleeding? Or are things really, really red where you are? Yes. Yes. That's what we're going to do. So I was like, let's just go full ham. Let's just do it. Do the whole thing red. Anyway, there's that to look forward to as well. So I guess you could say it'll be a Valentine's Day special. Sure. Why not?
Hey, Pumpkin. I've not seen a baby. Where is it? Where is it? Who's my good girl? Who's my good girl? Yes, I know. Look at you, so happy today. Look at you, so happy. Well, she's happy every day. My pumpkin's happy every day. Who's my good girl? Let me finish up, honey. And then I'll take us, we'll have a little break. We'll go for a walk, come back. Oh, I know. Cinnamon! I know. You're so dominating. Look at you. Arr. I know. I know. You conquered mommy. I know. You're such a big, strong girl. Look at my girl. Look at my girl. Who's 60 pounds? Oh. No, you know people don't like that. I don't like it either. 16 months old, 60 pounds, lean. Oh my goodness. Look at you. Look at you. You know you got a vet appointment next week? Oh yeah. Yeah. It's time for your shots. Yeah. We didn't like that. She's actually really good about her shots. She really is. All right, you guys, Intimate Tarot, with all general readings, take what resonates, leave what does not, and reverse those energies as you see fit, right? Particularly with Intimate Tarot, as energies can get, well, quite intimate, therefore complex, all right? There's going to be a good chance where you and your person are concerned, you are very similar, and the exchange of energies is really real and sometimes very dissimilar, okay? Regardless, just be mindful, all right? Just be mindful of what's yours and what isn't. Like always, take what resonates, leave what does not. And do keep in mind, these are general collective readings, not one-to-one private, which is to say they may not resonate at all, which is frustrating, I know, but it's also very normal. If that's the case, check your other placements. You will find yourself in there somewhere. I will see you, possibly for some shorts this week. We'll see. Hopefully I can make the time for it. But if not, I will definitely see you at the Sunday check-in. And I will see you at your sign. Take care. Be well. Leo, you're up first. We're going to start by looking at your Ace of Wands, yeah? Your overall sense of intimate and or sexual energies. Show me, Leo. Show me those Leo intimate energies, please. Show me, Leo. And of course, we'll put down the baseline. And throw down some oracles. The Ace of Wands. Oh yeah, Ace of Pentacles. Come on. 2 of Wands. Hey, good for you. Look at that. You're like, I'm all about the new, baby. And it feels so good. Yes, it does. For the Leo I'm looking at. Good job. I mean that. Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, 2 of Wands. You're like, I'm all about new. But you also are showing me not only is your intimate energy on point, it's robust, it's ready, it's roaring, right? You're like, new investment too. Legit. Let's get it started. 2 of Wands, you've already had this conversation with yourself. And it's also based on, I keep myself in the present. I keep myself focused. I live in the now. I know what I'm doing now. And a new opportunity in intimacy, as well as the authenticity, the Ace of Pentacles, to really get something going. So you are actually very much wanting to open up your sexual energies, but in a way that's strong. Okay? Possibly has some longevity attached to it, a long-term investment. So for fire signs, you showing me the Ace of Wands right away, no, not a surprise at all. Not at all. You have to understand the elements. Fire usually practices through fire, water through water. It's not always an absolute, it's not always a given. But for you, I would absolutely call this normal and healthy. If you really want to take something further, you'll show me the elements of love later. But the fact that you are so lit up now, you're so excited now, your energy's in the moment, it's present-oriented. I make decisions in the here and now, and I know this new beginning is right for me. How excited and worked up you are, I love that. Because you mean it. You've thought about it. You've felt about it, more to the point, and you know it's right for you. You're like, I'm all about the new. Let's get it going. Let's get the investment going. Let's go, baby. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I love it. Man, look at that. You are so like, well, literally to use the phrase, turned on. Let's see if someone's got your attention or are you just ready to go? Look at that right there on the split. You with the King of Wands and the Fool. You're like, I'm ready for a new beginning, baby. I believe you. So let's see if your intimate energies are kind of navigating you towards someone, or are you just like, I can't wait to find out. Let's see those Leo intimate energies, please. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you're perfect. I'm not saying that there's things you haven't thought about or haven't occurred to you yet. Your intimate / sexual energies suggest you're ready to roll. Like, let's get it started. But let's also make sure nothing's lingering. Yes? What's going on? Let's take a look at Leo, please. Let's see if you meet someone new. Let's see if you really open up. The Hierophant. Oh, the Emperor. My. Your sexual energies are very, very strong. I'm not saying you are male. I'm saying that's a lot of masculine energy, but it's developed masculine energy. My goodness.
Oh my goodness. 10 of Wands, the Ace of Swords, the 3 of Wands. Sorry, got some Cinnafer here. Let's keep on. Oh, there it is again. 2 of Wands, the 9 of Cups. Justice. I see you healing your sexual energies with someone. It's a choice. I'm not. Let me make this clear. You're showing me I feel good about a strong new investment, but there is distance that spans you and this person. It would still be considered a first sexual act with them. So hold on, let me back up. We've discussed your new, but you're showing me my sexual energies are pointing at someone whom I'm familiar with, but we haven't actually had a sexual exchange before or yet. Okay. So the Emperor, the Hierophant, like I said, that's very masculine energy, but also very developed. It's a strong sense of I'm in command of my sexual energy. I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't just let it run away from me. I'm responsible with it. And I also understand, P.S., that my sexual energy serves a higher purpose. So again, you are a fire element here that's very much in touch with your fire, your passion. You don't deny it. You also see it as something that's worth investing in because from your point of view, passion, not just in a sexual sense, takes you far. This is based on your personal experience here at the Ace of Pentacles and also that sense of decision-making that's in the here and now that is the 2 of Wands. Over here, the Emperor with the Hierophant, like I said, that's very strong. And it's passionate, but it's kind of in that sense of smoldering. I keep it in check because I know me, and I need to know that whatever it is I do, I invest in or feel strongly about, has to serve a higher purpose or I won't do it. So here we have the elements of I feel things as I feel them, I invest in them accordingly, I live in the here and now, but I also understand that in the greater scheme of things, it has to be relevant. It has to serve a purpose, right? So you have an incredible focus, an incredible balance of what you feel and how you execute things based on realistic experience and then also a very strong sense of projected self in the future. So that's really high quality here. I mean, this is beautiful. I love this. You're showing me such a strong sense of will and that you know what your sexual energies are for. They're for you first and foremost. Absolutely. All your energies are for you first and foremost before you decide to share them with someone else. And you're saying based on experience and having a strong sense of sexual self, you know who you are. And you know what you would stand up for. You know what you would commit to. And you want to bring all that to the table. Man, that's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. A steady but passionate hand, I would say. Lovely. Very lovely. Very attractive. 10 of Wands is between you and someone else. So 10 of Wands in Intimate Tarot, particularly in this deck, one of the reasons why I use it. 10 of Wands shows the stress of first penetration. Yes, I know. This is where the sensitive folks... What? Oh my God. I'm going to refer you back to the description box at this point if you just went... What? Yeah. Yes. So here we have the stress... largely burden here that's felt between two people about a lot of sexual tension that was never requited. Okay, so here we have the stress or the burden of the 10 of Wands. Can the 10 of Wands still mean the 10 of Wands, by the way? Yes, but here it actually has a different focus. There has yet to be the first act of penetration between you and this person, and you both felt the tension of it or the strain of it. Over here, Ace of Swords, 3 of Wands. I know this person has a sharp mind, and they have no problem waiting. They have no problem distancing themselves. They have no problem, it seems, acting upon celibacy. They do not rush their sexual energy. They have a very strong mind, very intelligent. They probably have a very active imagination for that reason. But they honestly do believe in a slow burn. Here we have the extended kiss in the 3 of Wands. This person has no problem delaying for something that they feel very strongly about. They know this like they know themselves. They have a very strong truth attached to them, a very unapologetic truth. But honestly, pleasure for them. They can delay it. They can stretch it out. Okay. I'm a little bit more curious about this person's sexual energy on a deeper way. On the right now, I only have a surface presentation, is that you have the impression that you and them are separated over a period of distance and that we never got to seal the deal, if you will. And there's always been that a lot of lingering pressure between you and this person. So I'm sure that there's more to that. Okay, I feel like I'm not doing their side justice, so I might push on theirs a little more. All right, 2 of Wands, 9 of Cups, and Justice. That's what I'm saying. no matter their disposition, you know, how intelligent, and they can stretch their sexual energy out and not indulge in it. Okay, strong mind, strong will, that kind of thing. And they like a good kiss too. Why is that so important to them? I mean, I'm all for it. I completely agree. They have a kiss that lingers, that's attached to them. Their sexual energy is not easily satisfied, is it? Which is why they're probably so picky and selective. I would say they're picky. The Ace of Swords automatically kind of makes it that way. It might seem like a cold element, but this is someone who knows themselves really well. Like I said, probably creative as well as intelligent. Somebody who doesn't mind a little bit of the kink there, you know, a little bit of a specific detail. They like leather, they like satin, they like lace, they like the way things feel, very tactile. Oh, but they do love a good kiss. Anyway, Two of Wands, Nine of Cups, Justice. The both of you really feel strongly towards each other. You both actually perceive each other as wish fulfillment, intimately, emotionally, as well as sexually. As far as I can tell, you're each other's sexual equal, and that sense of we would both give and take to this, and we would both be pleasured by it. We would both benefit from it. We would both love it. We would love this connection the way we would love ourselves, and treat it with a lot of emotional and sexual respect. And that is beautiful. I think you two are each other's equals behind closed doors, or how you two would intimately touch each other emotionally and sexually if you could, because there has been a barrier between you two. Okay, the actual physical act, as far as I can tell, has not taken place. There's tension and time stretched out between you two. But as far as I can tell, you two are emotional and sexual equals. So in that respect, indeed, your sexual energy towards this person would be considered new, if that's where you're leaning. Absolutely. And as someone who has shown me the Emperor and the Hierophant, if you're saying that's what I want to do, I would believe you. You know where your energies are best planted. I have the feeling this is someone we've always longed for, you know, in our own way. And for some reason, you're more of a free agent now today than perhaps you were then. But I do feel like this is someone we've lost time with, attachment with possibly. We were never able to break past that barrier on either side. Okay. But I do know where you two are intimately connected, you're actually quite matched. Quite matched. I think behind closed door, you two would have very special words. Finally allowed to express yourselves and sexually express yourselves, and it would be incredibly intimate, and I would even say cozy between you two. There's not a display here that other people would understand. But you do think this person would strongly, strongly complement your sexual energy, and I think you're right. I do. They are selective, perhaps a little exacting, a little just so. They do like things just so. Okay. That's all right. Sometimes you have to have standards, darling. Intimate or otherwise. I find it much better to connect to someone who understands their sexual needs and wants and can convey them, as opposed to someone who just remains buttoned up. I want you to discover it for me. You got to do some work, though. Otherwise, you're just a passive participant. You're not actually learning or doing. Which means somebody isn't going to get pleased very much, you know. This is someone who has no problem expressing their needs. The Fool, the Four of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune. There it is again, that sense of time. We've held on to this person's energy, sexual and otherwise. We have, but looking back over it on time, that's something that gives us something to think about, doesn't it? Especially if you're that person who is indeed so very serious about your sexual energies and that they need to mean something. It meant something to you to look back on this over time and see how you still find yourself sexually attached to it. I should say attracted, but it obviously stems well beyond attraction. Okay. No, looking back on in time, we've held on to this one. It's and that is informing us about our next investment, isn't it? Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good way to listen to yourself. That's good. There you are, right there on the split. With the tulips, i.e. the Lovers, the Sun. Yeah. Very good. Some of you, Leo, may not be. It might be in your big three, of course. I had a feeling I was going to see that today. Number 25, the ruby ring. Traditionally, the ruby ring, obviously any red ring, okay, there's so many, ruby, garnet, carnelian, they all represent the passion stones because they're red. But traditionally, it meant the engagement of someone who, yes, they spark my passionate interest, but no, they've never given it to me. So in a way, it kind of represents sexual commitment. I've always had a flame for this person, but they've never given it to me for one reason or another. So it's kind of like saying, I honor this person's chastity. I honor this person's ability to keep their distance. It's very old school. It ironically used to represent a ring you would give to a woman who represents purity. This one turns me on, and I haven't been able to touch her. So these are very old-fashioned concepts, but I think you get the idea. So, of course, on face value, we have the idea of commitment, number 25. But the redness gives it a very special quality. And do you see where I'm getting that? The 10 of Wands, like I said, that there is always that physical intimacy barrier between you two. So I see the commitment here, and I see that sense of passion that was never allowed to happen or be indulged. Okay. A bit of luck. We never had luck. We didn't have luck overcoming a particular mountain or challenge. There was never a lot of luck there. Well, for some reason, you're open for business now. Or you will be. I'm very curious about that. Time was never on my side. Time was never on our side. I don't know. Pay attention to the red flags. Know the warning signs of what an unhealthy connection looks like. And then take a leap of faith. Okay. So in terms of red flags, I didn't see that. And the fact that time perhaps has not been on your two's side. For one reason or another, there might have always been red flags that got up in the way. And that can take a variety of shape and forms. Okay, there might have always been something going on, either on their side or your side, or a combination of the two, but just red flags. And then in that general sense, somebody might have been hyper aware of false flags, too fearful, too afraid, stay away, seeing red tape when there wasn't any, something like that. All right, somebody might have been too preoccupied with this idea of, is this a healthy or unhealthy connection? Being inherently fearful of it, especially if the stronger it felt. Yes, because here we have the take a leap of faith, which kind of nullifies or pushes back on the red flags. It's like, despite the scary elements or the very strong fear that might have been in one or both of you, we still had the Fool here. Only when you were willing to step out of your comfort zone, okay, will you reap the rewards. So somebody's red flag here is like, why am I so afraid to change or open up? That might have been a red flag for somebody. Why am I so fearful of this? It might have been just so freaking strong. It made people uncomfortable, especially if whatever this is outside the known comfort zone. You two may not look anything alike. Age, race, ethnicity, culture. You know, that one's really different from me. Yeah, the best ones are. When people, women more so, I'm not saying only women, but women really perpetuate this one the most. It's not my type. It's your type that keeps getting you into a problem. I'm not saying standards. You should always have standards. I'm saying break your type, okay? And men can suffer from that too, but it's usually women who perpetuate it. But yeah, but if anyone here is a little too tied to their comfort zone, they're afraid to switch things up. They never have. They could never really commit to the idea of being connected to someone so different from them, or the situation or circumstances, or somebody has an alternative lifestyle. That was going to be a red flag to somebody. But yet we must persist. A new beginning is here. I have to agree. I want to start over. New beginning. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get rid of that stupid ass 10 of Wands. Okay? Let's, you know, somebody here has earned their dang ruby or red ring. We have the letter X, we have the letter O, we have K, we have the medallion of a child. Someone here might have a child. That's true. Real life, real talk. Somebody here might have a kid. Absolutely. And then also there might be that false sense of childlike dependency. Fearful. Okay? I don't know. We have the 10 of Pentacles, Tree of Life. You know this person. There's no way in heck when I say something like this, there's no, over that stretch of time, we know this person. We're connected to them by proxy of community, bare minimum. Okay. We have roots with them in some way. And then we have the medallion of Gemini, but it's in the reverse. The key word here being intelligent. Yes, I already saw this person was marked with intelligence, creativity, possibly a sense of rigidity in terms of what they like and how they like it. But at least they know their mind and therefore their sex. Okay. All right, Leo, honey, this one was really good. I like this one a lot. I hope it helped you. You know what? Just I'm thinking gonna wrap it up. I don't always use the same oracle cards. It kind of depends on what the vibe is. On Thursday, whatever the heck that means. Okay, Leo, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Sag, welcome to your intimate tarot reading. We're going to start with your Ace of Wands. Let's see that intimate sexual energies, please, for Sag. What's going on for Sag, please? Very good. Okay. That's you. Temperance, Three of Cups, Ace of Wands. Wow, that's beautiful. Lovely. Very specific, too. So this one's either yours or it's not. But that's you right there. That's your power card, darling. Temperance, looking gorgeous. Three of Cups, Ace of Wands. Beautiful. Lovely. Light. But you say you're ready. You're saying you're ready to open up your fires, your sexual energies a little bit. Three of Cups, nothing crazy, you know. Little exploration there. Little connectivity, little reconnectivity. But you're saying you're ready. Temperance, you're ready. You know, you've exercised some good sexual healing for yourself. In other words, gotten your sexual energies back into a place of comfort for you, that you recognize yourself and that you feel sexually expressive or comfortable expressing yourself in some way. Once more, Three Cups isn't too crazy. Some of you have just begun the tentative process of connecting, possibly reconnecting. We're going to put down your baseline and take a look. Ace of Wands. Any ace really can represent new as well as renewed. With the Three Cups on it, yeah, it could swing another direction. That's what she said. But yeah, no, you look great. You look calm. You look restored. You've gotten back in touch with your sexual sense of self, which is beautiful. I don't know how long it took you to get there, but that's not the point. You are showing the results of some good work. Okay? So some of you are like, yeah, I'm starting to feel a little, oh yeah, for like, I don't know, I'm just being cheeky. Yeah, I'm feeling a little extra tingly these days. Don't ask me what kind of tingles, darling, you know. Right? Some of you you're just starting to feel like that a little bit. I like it. It's actually kind of sweet, but temperance behind it, so that took work, you know. Sometimes we just need to rest our sexual energies, right? Some of you went through states of celibacy, normal, okay? Just not being too out there with your sexual energies. Just keeping quiet, healing yourself, biding your time, learning what you needed to learn, okay? And we're starting to have some fun. We feel like we can open up and have some fun. All right. I'm not saying you're perfect. I'm not saying there isn't more work yet to do. What I am saying is you feel like you can put yourself out there a little bit. And that's nice. We'll take that. We'll take that. What's going on, please? So I was like, I could be in the mood. Yeah, you could. There you are again, Temperance. Some of you are double, triple Saggies. Look at that. Temperance twice. Wow. Yeah, Ace of Swords. You're like, I know who I am, or I remembered who the heck I am. Good for you. Five of Pentacles. Okay. The Hierophant and the Ten of Swords. All right. I got you. Three of Pentacles, the Lovers, and that's tricky. I admit that placement is tricky, but I'll give you the spiel like I give everyone else. We'll get there. Three of Pentacles, the Lovers, the King of Cups. Okay, back it up. So some of you have done some good work. Like I said, congratulations to you. You look calm, you look peaceful. And like I said, your sexual energies are just starting to open up and it feels good. It feels a little tingly, but it's nothing crazy. You know, I like it. I really do. That's when people start opening up, I prefer to see layouts like that. I really, really do. And it's not just the sexual energy. Three of Cups, they're a little bit of heart space. It's nice. All right, you're like, I've made up my mind. Yeah, you have. Temperance, there you are, Ace of Swords. I love this. So the Ace of Swords in sexual tarot is always interesting. Yes, it can be someone who has a lot of focus. Yes, it can be someone who is very intelligent. But it can also be someone who is very particular, who kind of has a creative mind, maybe a little higher fantasy drive, but a very strong sense of I know me. Unequivocally, you have a sexual truth attached to you. You're saying, my sexual truth is along for who I am. It's along for the ride. I know me. Whew, no going back, right? And what your sexual truth is what you took the time to discover, what it is that you needed to heal from. And in that process of healing, okay, and detaching, because there is a detachment process here, You kind of got to rediscover your sexual self. It's waking back up again. So some of you might be very picky. Some of you might be very particular. Some of you might have unusual or exotic tastes. That's okay too. With the Ace of Swords, we have a little bit of the dominance here. Doesn't say that absolutely has to be you, but for some of you, it's a detail that resonates. Some of you don't mind things like straps and leather and stuff, but other than that, it's like saying, I know who I am, and I take my sexual energy with me and my sexual truth with me at all times. It's part of me. I won't part ways with it. I know who I am. I love this. I love that. I love it. I love it. This is great. Now, Five of Pentacles is shared in your sexual energy between yourself and someone else. That someone else is the Hierophant with the Ten of Swords. There's an ending here. Possibly commitment. Okay. Their sexual energy looks hurt, separated. All right. So I don't know who initiated the break. I don't care. That's irrelevant to me. You both experienced it. You dealt with it your way, and you're saying you're ready to open up. You're at that point now. As for them, they're kind of in that place of they're still feeling their sexual energy towards you, and it hurts, and that it's been dismissed or broken from. They'll have to work through it, such as you did. Okay? It could be the way around. It could be reversed. I don't know. You might both have strong Sag in your chart. There is double Sag here, but that's not the point. I see how one person feels ready that they're open up because they've done the work, and the other person, they're still kind of clinging to the broken odds and ends of the sexual energy and the spiritual connection that used to be between you two. Okay? I'm not trying to pour salt in the wounds. Somebody still has work to do. So long as we continue to show sexual commitment to someone we've clearly broken ties from, we're always going to feel a little in pain. Yes. Okay. Like my sexual energy still has to flow in that direction. No, it's over. But telling that to a human being and allowing them to experience it are two different things. This person has to discover that their own way, just like you did. Okay? And I am sorry that they hurt. I am. But they need to understand, or at some point they will understand, and I hope that they do, that the freedom works both ways. You are in touch and feeling in touch with your freedom, your sexual freedom, your spiritual freedom, all of it's in there. They'll do the same in time. Okay? But if someone still has a commitment pointed to someone, even though it's over, that's something they still need to work through. It's not a race. It's not a competition. It shouldn't be. I can tell that they're hurt. Okay? But these things end. Yes. Now, whether or not you two had a full-on marriage, I don't know. Here we have the sense of commitment. Sexual commitment is like any other commitment. It's, I'm directing my energies towards you, regardless if there's a piece of paper involved. The idea is my higher self attached itself to you in some way. For them, their sexual energy is showing me attachment to you, even though it's broken. They need time to work through it. Okay? That's all I know. But it's interesting that you showed me I have such a strong sense of self, and you're saying my sexual energy is a good thing. It's a healthy thing, and it's an empowering thing for me. I know this about myself. I don't apologize for it, and I'm going to take it with me no matter what. So I don't quite know where you were coming from. But it made me think that you had to go out of your way to reconcile yourself to your sexual energy as being a good thing, a healthy thing, not a negative thing. Okay? Otherwise, you wouldn't have had that much work to do. Shot in the dark. Three of Pentacles, the Lovers, the King of Cups. My. Well, now, you have some interesting times ahead of you, my friend. Now, Three of Pentacles, the Lovers, it's like, wait, what? I don't want a lover friend. I understand. For some of you, this will represent in future the possibility. I'm going to put some things out there. It's up to you. Because again, mind you, once more, your opening energy suggested you were in an exploratory phase. It feels good. You just started connecting. Your energy is starting to point at someone new. Okay? That could be a person. It could be that you're trying out cups and fire energies with a couple of folks. I don't know. That's up to you. Okay? Temperance here suggests you got it. You can handle it. And I don't mean how many people you can take on. That sounds horrible. What I'm saying is that I'm willing to try and open up. Okay. I see one of those persons over here. It is a very specific person. So, Three of Pentacles, the Lovers. Could it be friends with benefits? That's a choice for you. I'm not saying you have to. That's not my position. That's not my role. I'm not telling you to do shit, okay? Tarot does not dictate action. You do. Tarot's the proof of choice, not the absence of it. Some of you, this represents simply a friends with benefit. I can't say that that's not a possibility, but I'm kind of ruling that out, and I'll tell you why. The King of Cups is here. So there is a strong sense of whatever this is between us is just starting to build, but emotions come first. Okay, so it's a tentative build. It could be that we are starting at the ground up and we don't want to take anything for granted with a strong connection. Okay? I do know this, that King of Cups does not feel like it's you. You've already kind of shown me who you are a couple times. That is somebody's strong heart space that's outside of you. They operate from love. So if you're not looking for that, perhaps you might want to lean into friends with benefits. Just make sure that you are upfront with it, right? Yeah, I feel, however, whatever this is, we have a tentative build over a strong construct. Whenever people try to make the lovers of friends, it very rarely works out. It's usually setting ourselves up for failure. It's like a part of me wants you, I admit that, so let's just call each other friends because I'm not willing or able to do more. Okay. And that almost always fails, like I say. It's what humans do to compromise and try to get a little bit of everything, but not actually get everything. This says something's building. And we don't want to take anything for granted. We're going to start with a basic structure here and build on that. You start out with 3 of Cups and the willingness to be open from a very strong place in you. Your sexual energy is along for the ride. You're healed up. You're ready to go. 3 of Pentacles realistically means you have to start somewhere. But boom, straight out the gate with a strong connection to the Lovers and the King of Cups. That's full heart and conviction. So if some of you are not into, kind of full-on relationship building, you might want to pass this one up. Because I don't think this person would be interested in a friends with benefits. I really don't. This one has the potential of a lot more going for them. Okay. And going for the both of you. So if you're not ready for that, if you're just trying to keep it casual, feel renewed, inspired, reinvigorated, cool, I got you. Just make sure you say that. But I honestly see you contributing because you want to. You see, sense, or feel the potential in this. It's very, very different from what you left behind. It has a much stronger emotional, spiritual, and sexual conviction attached to it. Okay? Judgment, 6 of Wands, the Knight of Cups. Judgment call. If we're going to open up and be vulnerable, own it. Okay? It's someone's judgment. Lessons. Okay? It's okay to have sexual pride. It's okay to have sexual confidence and sexual pursuit. But be vulnerable. Knight of Cups. We have a lesson in this. If you want real, open up towards the real. If you just want superficial, fun playtime, then own that too. Okay? But don't get... See, there it is again. Guys, whatever... Lovers is underlined. This is very strong. It's not... If you connect to this and you have very casual expectations, I just want you to know this may not be the one that you want to connect to then. This one's quite strong. But we have lessons in this. We have lessons, judgment. If you're going to have game, 6 of Wands, confidence, sexual confidence, but you really want it to mean something, open up. Don't express your heart space if you just kind of want to keep it at the 6 of Wands. But if you want the real deal, act like it. Be confident in your vulnerability and your ability to open up and express yourself. Okay? It's kind of straightforward. You want the real? You got to invest in the real, right? Goodness me, that one's strong. Oh, yes. That one's very strong. They are the one They are the one. That's literally what this card says. You read it, say they are the one. I was getting that vibe. Really trying to impress upon you. This is not going to be a wham bam, thank you, ma'am, or sir, however you want to put it. No. You have already met the romantic partner you seek. You know who this is. There's no way in hell you don't. Oh my. I don't think I want to do the check-in. That one has more of a given up and remorseful attachment to it. And not everybody needs the same oracles. Birds, little messages, communication, hummingbirds, a lot of talk, a lot of activity is being generated right now. It's rapid. And also the beating of one's heart, very, very rapid. Pathway. God, we are so excited to go down this pathway. Number 35, a new pathway, one that you didn't know was going to open up before you, one you didn't even know was available to you, but it represents a period of transformation in your life, i.e. the butterflies here on your pathway. We had to transform into this, choose it, go out of our way to find this particular path, or trailblaze it for ourselves. But the point is that the principle of transformation is welcoming you onto this path, okay? In other words, you've earned it. All right, and there it is again. Yeah, we're very open for business. And 28, the romantic male, he who bears the rose, holds the rose, and tends to offer it to his intended. So yeah, we have that inclination here. This is either you or it's them. Number 28. You've earned this path regardless, and your heart's ready and open for this. Okay, so even if you start at the bare bone structure, which is perfectly fine if you are showing me a new beginning like I believe you are, and you had to earn your path, you got to start 3 and 3. Makes perfect sense. You're ready for it. But we're being very careful with this one, I believe. You're both slowly building into this. But man, when somebody shows up with their heart, they show up with their heart. We have the letters C, M, B, and H. We have the little bicycle. For some of you, the bicycle is confirmation. Perhaps you ride for hobby or for fun, or you take it very seriously, or you just see a bicycle fairly often for some reason. I don't know. It's confirmation for some of you, not all of you. We have the peacock. Yay! I got that with the 6 of Wands. There's something here about the showcase. Someone's got a good display, a beautiful display, a big energy, a big aura, if you will. There's that sense of a bit of show. If somebody takes their appearance, it's just part of their display. That doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It's just somebody has a beautiful display. Someone has very exotic colors. They just wear themselves, how they show themselves and how they carry themselves, it's part of who they are. Yeah, there's a bit of a show in there. That's all right. All right, the crescent moon. It's something about the moon. For some of you, follow the way of the moon. The next crescent moon might be important for some of you. And there's a sense of dream, perhaps intuitive connection at the dream level, this kind of thing. All right, Saggy, honey, I hope this helped you. Actually, let's go ahead and pull. Leo had such a specific one. It said Thursday. It's like, oh. I got chills, honey. Thursday. Ooh, this was also pretty darn awesome. And yours is Friday. Yay. Whatever the hell that means. Which Friday, Christina? I don't know. There's several of them, but Friday. Okay? Take it on faith. Oh, wait. What is... No. Hold up. No, that's Tom Petty. Take it on faith. Take it to the heart. The waiting is the hardest part. I did not say wait. That's just a lyric that jumped into my head. Take it on faith. Take it to the heart. The waiting is the hardest part. Yeah. All right. Let me know if you're a Petty fan. All right. You guys, Saggy, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Aries, welcome to your intimate tarot reading. I'll tell you what, so far, the fire signs, true to your name. Let's see what's going on for you, honey. Show me that. Intimate and sexual energies, please, for Aries. We're going to start with the Ace of Wands. Just kind of do your own personal temperature check, if you will. What's going on for Aries? What's going on for Aries? Six of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the Five of Wands. You are currently in a tiff with your person. There is sexual frustration between you and them. We are not seeing eye to eye currently with them, and we're not being intimate to intimate. In other words, matching emotionally or sexually. The Six of Cups is here, so this is soul bond. And even if you don't believe in soul bonds, that's cool. It's the idea of emotional attachment to the past. And that's fine. It's one of the reasons why we look at intimate tarot, because it can be as applicable today as it was yesterday. The point is that you two have a deep bond. You've known each other over a long period of time, and you have a unique frequency that developed between you and this person. That's what that soul bond energy is. 9 of Wands, 5 of Wands. Oh my, my, my. That's a lot of sexual tension, frustrated, blockage. Well, if you block me, I'm going to block you. And it gets frustrating because sometimes you two get locked into a pattern here. If you reject me, I'm going to reject you. And we're going to sit here and fight about it, which isn't good. Let's put down your baseline and see what the heck's going on. So one of the things that fuels your passion, by the way, is your emotional reflex to this person. So I know you love them. But I tell you what, when you two want to lock heads, no pun intended, when you two want to lock heads sexually otherwise, you can and you will. And that's the areas I'm looking at today with your person. It's very distinct. And it's like, yeah, I've known them forever and a day. And I know what they like when they get into some bullshit too. Okay. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, please? I hope we're not using our sexuality as a weaponized tool, but what I see here is a lot of frustration. We're not able to soothe our sexual energies with the person. Between you two, let's see if we can see why. Okay? Show me, Aries. The Lovers, Temperance, 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles. What? 10 of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the 8 of Swords. Okay. Okay, you've done a lot of good work in there. You've done a lot of good work in there. You immediately straight away said, lovers, I know it's a lover. I know it. Nothing else could be a bigger pain in my ass. I mean, what else would it be? Straight away, you're like, I'm deeply connected to this person. I'm crazy about them. I'm attracted to them. I'm spiritually connected to them. I'm mentally connected to them. And you're like, I've been healing my sexual energies towards them, whatever that means. Trying to feel better about the connection, how you perceive the connection, how you feel it. Okay. How you allow your sexual energies to flow into it. You've tried to be a lot more mindful towards it. So you have gone out of your way then, over a period of time, to convert your sexual frustrations towards this person into something positive, something that you can understand more easily, and that it soothes you in the spirit, if not sexually. So there's a lot of sexual aggression in here, stretched out over 6 of Cups. Okay. You two could not make your passions come together. That was eye to eye. Okay, I don't know why. There's so much blockage here, and it's like, well, if you block me, I'm going to block you back. Right? And that's a lot of frustration. That's a lot of angst. That's a lot of buildup. But when I take a look at you, you're like, I've been working on it. Temperance is here. So a lot more time has passed than I had initially thought. So this is good news for you. You've done a lot of good work in there. You've kind of forgiven this connection, and I'm not saying you have to. Not at all. I read what's here, not what isn't. If you have done, beautiful. If you haven't, that's a choice. Forgiveness is a choice, like all things. And I'm not dictating anything. I'm looking at an Aries who has learned to forgive themselves, this connection, and you have even to some extent, at least energetically, shared that forgiveness to this connection. Like, I forgive myself in this. I even forgive them to some extent. And to what extent and how, that's up to you. Okay? That's up to you. It's a personal thing. But you have really, and I mean really, gone out of your way to make sense of this connection, to heal your way through it, and that includes your sexual energy and all the frustration you had with this person. As like, you and I might be bonded, but man, you pissed me off. We never come together in a way that's smooth or good for either one of us. We're always so busy blocking our sexual energies towards each other. I don't feel good about the connection. At some point, that's a lot of arguing. It's so arguing. It's so blocky. I thought it was present. Now you're saying time's passed. A lot of time for you has passed. And that your positive sexual energies, Ace of Wands, no longer gets converted negatively towards this person. You've made that very clear over here. You're saying time has passed, and you now take your sexual energy and any good energy you had towards this connection, and you convert it to healing. I refuse to think poorly about this. I refuse to be combative with it. I want to heal myself towards it. I'm part of it. I'm deeply connected to it. And for that reason, because I acknowledge it, I forgive myself. And in some way, I forgive them too. It's very forgiving. It's very loving. Because like I said, you understand and appreciate the connection. Especially since you've had a lot of space from it. I can't emphasize that enough. Because it went from, it's on site, it's on point, to, oh no, a lot of time has passed. I'm not angry with it like it used to be. And I'm not frustrated with it. I'm not taking something positive and me and that person are turning it into something negative. We don't do that anymore. It's like, I've worked through my shit. I love them. They're my lover. They'll always be my lover, and I forgive them. 2 of Cups is shared between you and this person. Cool. There is some sort of emotional love between you two in some way. So if that helps you. But when I look at their energy, it's a lot less impressive. But it's also not a competition, and I need to point that out more and more with people. Tarot's not a competition. I'm just saying you've done some beautiful work. I have a feeling they wouldn't know or appreciate how much work you've done. 3 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles, that's because they themselves keep the energy they have for you in a very low functioning state. I don't know how much of myself to give to this. So here we have the admission of some sort of shared feelings, but without the conviction to back it up. So that's where I'm guessing all that tension came from, over a stretched out period of time. So goodness knows how long you were in a battle of wills with this person. Not even sexually at this point, so much more than that. The connection battle of wills, the emotional battle of wills, the spiritual battle of wills. And sex was just like the tip of the iceberg, honey. And as far as I can tell, it was constantly in a place of block and you two never meeting eye to eye on the experience and how to, it was like, I feel such beautiful things toward you. Let's both of us fuck it up. Often. So again, it starts out positive, but it converted to negative. And I can kind of see why. You kind of told me I was on top of it. I healed my shit. I know what my part of it was. I know what my side of it was. I'm not saying you're perfect. What I'm saying is that you've done a hell of a lot of work while still respecting the connection for what it was. Good job, Gold Star. I mean that. And while there is love felt between you two, someone keeps what they feel way down here. I don't know how to bring it together. I'm going to be honest with you, honey. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like they were juggling you. And I think the reason you two went head for head like that as long as you did is because you've known each other a long time. But I honestly think they were juggling your feelings. Which is why they didn't quite know what to do with your two's connection. They felt that they loved you, but it was also like, yours isn't the only heart I'm dealing with, though. That's the problem I have with it. Okay? It doesn't have any stronger conclusions about you sexually otherwise because it's preoccupied. It doesn't really commit to how it feels. Because its emotions are tangled up elsewhere outside of your two's connection as well. Has some emotional juggling. I've seen it before. I'll say it again. It's low functioning. Even if there wasn't a third person here, I'm not saying, even if there wasn't that, someone who refuses to understand their feelings and therefore do something with those, they're just not gonna. So again, it still goes back to a low functioning state. Whereas compared to the upper level work you've done, theirs is way down here and stagnant and going nowhere. Despite the love bond, and that shit pisses me off. That's so frustrating. When I see someone do all this work, I forgive myself, I understand the meaning, I understand the history, I understand my part in it, I understand where and when and how I fucked up, I get it, I own it, I own it, I own it. I forgive myself, I get it, I understand the connection, I know what it meant to me, I forgive them too, I forgive them too, I forgive them too, I forgive them too. I forgive them too. You know why? Because they're a person too. They fuck up too. You're right. All those things. So I don't want this to discourage you. The reason your two sexual energies could never smooth out or even out, and it went from the initial spark of positive fire to something quite negative, It's because yours and theirs wasn't the only heart space involved. That's why they could never quite figure it out. Why they didn't have the space to. Okay. 10 of Wands, Knight of Wands, the 8 of Swords. Yeah, someone's inability to see their energy is where it was going and why. It was there. Again, the attraction was there, but then we came up against that brick wall once more. 10 of Wands in this deck and in Intimate Tarot, meaning the stress and pressure of acting on first penetration, any sort of sexual energy that was exchanged between you two once more remained difficult. So even if you two did seal the deal, the point is it was always difficult. It was never smooth. And it never felt fully appreciated, effective, or alive. Someone constantly shut it down. I try not to think about it. I try not to think about my sexual energy and where it went with you and why and all this other crap. It's very confusing. It's very confusing. But the good news is that you don't seem to be in passion with this person anymore. Okay? Whether or not you're still in love with them, I don't know. But you don't seem to be in passion with them anymore either. So you kind of talked yourself off that particular fire ledge, if you will. Because you're right, it's too confusing. When you have that much sexual tension, it has nowhere to go. Eventually it's going to fizzle out and die because you're just, at some point, you're just fighting with yourself about your own feelings. Because they're not participating correctly. What else are you supposed to do? Eventually all that fire is going to burn out. You know? Continue to heal yourself. And I know this doesn't look very impressive, but I just want to impress upon you, regardless, that you've done a lot of beautiful work here. And what I really admire about your reading here today is that at the end of the day, no matter how bullshitty it got, okay, no matter how angsty and deep, because this was, let me make this clear in case I didn't make that point. It was deeply unsatisfactory, disconnection, sexually and emotionally and spiritually, because this person wasn't available. They were too busy juggling your heart space and theirs, and I think someone else's. Yeah, there's feelings there. Okay. So there wasn't enough time to make this satisfactory, or that was always the core point. You refused to give in. They refused to give in. Somebody would not give in to their sexual energies. Which was a good thing. Guys, there's a lot going on in here. But the fact, getting back to my point, that despite how unsatisfactory this was, you still give it the label of the Lovers. You're saying, I know what it was, even if they don't. I think you're right. I know you're right. I'm looking at your correctness. What I'm looking at is also their incorrectness by default. You're right. This was the Lover's connection. And in order to keep your lover, you have to choose it. It's a very complex bonding system. They clearly weren't choosing the heart space, or the sexual energy, or the physical reality of the lover's space. So, therefore, they could not keep it. You two ended up fighting at the end just to keep each other around, I'm guessing. You're past all that now. So the fact that you can stay, I know who it was. And I know who they were to me, and I forgive myself and I forgive them. I mean, that's beautiful. 5 of Cups, the 7 of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. You grew out of this. Literally, you grew out of this because your heart's too big. 5 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, little by little, you learned to let this go. You understood it was emotional stagnancy, and what you wanted is so much bigger. Is the Ace of Cups there? That's emotional stagnancy. Absolutely. It's there's the past, once more past. 5 and 6 of Cups, they're both past orientation cards. And you're like, I stuck around as long as I did out of fondness for this. But honestly, it was a road to nowhere. I mean, it had nowhere to grow emotionally or sexually. It has no opportunity to thrive. And you're saying your heart was just too big for that. Eventually, you needed more. And you decided to take on more in the form of new for yourself, new love opportunities. But you literally are the definition of having outgrown this. And you did. They're way back there, and how could I keep Aries around and give minimal to it? Yeah, it's underdeveloped. You're right. You absolutely outgrew this. And like I said, this is a key point. You're not in passion with it anymore. Do you hear the language? When people say, I'm not in love with this anymore. There's so much more in and out of energy than people understand. You can be in love with somebody and out of love with them. You can be in passion with somebody and out of passion with them. You see what I'm saying? Okay? And you're saying, I'm not in passion with them anymore. You still have a bond with them. This you know. But your requirements for love now are so much bigger. So whether or not you're still in love with them, I don't know. But bare minimum, you show me the appreciation of what it made you feel at some point. Okay? Continue your growing exercises. Please know that sexual burnout for people is real. If it doesn't come together in a way that's smooth, conducive, or happy, and is healthy for both, eventually someone's going to get really tired trying to sustain positive energy that's just not there. Okay? You've chosen a different path. Someone else got this. I want to say Sag. 35. Coffin. Ah, there's that dead-end pathway. Thank you. Yeah, there's that stagnancy. You killed that particular pathway. It's like the past in the past, and that's probably where it needs to stay. Oh, I have a deep appreciation for the past too, honey. I've known some people going, at minimum, the youngest I've known someone is 10 years. Like, my deepest connections, they go back 15, 20 years. You know, I completely get that. There's just not everybody's meant to carry on the same pathway or the same journey. You have to know when some pathways are just frankly dead end, no matter how much you appreciate the past and what they meant to you then is not the same now. And it's where you are now that counts, yes? Okay, 1935. We don't need to do all the oracles. Some folks need more work than others. Yours is actually incredibly straightforward. I want you to keep on with your healing. Keep understanding what it is you need to understand about yourself. And if you indeed are aiming towards the Ace of Cups, then let that be so. Express your love. It is important to let people know that you love them. You have nothing to lose. That's right. You know, did this person ever say they loved you? Think about that. I see that they felt it. That doesn't mean they owned it. Hence, one of the reasons why the Lovers is unrequited. You can have very strong feelings, but if someone doesn't speak the fuck up, then it's as good as not feeling the thing. People have to speak up for themselves. You had nothing to lose if you feel that you had no reason to stay. If they were juggling your heart space, they might have felt something for you. I think I'm going to call it off, even if you call it love. Right? What is that, Chapel Roan? Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to call it off, even if they called it love, honey. Couldn't have been all that good, right? You had nothing to lose with this one. You might have expressed yourself. And in many respects, that gave you the freedom to move on with your life, to forgive yourself because you did what you needed to do. That is absolutely, positively possible. People will show me how they forgive themselves because they did what they needed to do. They said what they needed to say, even if it hurt, even if it cost them something. They can honestly say, I walked away feeling better about it. I'm glad I did, even if it hurt. Sadness. I have shed many tears over this, over you. And may your tear shedding days be over. They probably don't know that you cried. Again, they'd have to stop juggling hearts in order to care, you know? Okay. What is this? Heartbroken. I can still feel you at all times. Heartbroken in reverse. You are coming out of that place of heartbreak. Once more, congratulations. You've done the work. Okay? We have the letter U. We have 3 medallions here. You could have any of these placements in your chart. Their seasons could be important, or you could be connecting to any of the following: Capricorn, Scorpio, and Leo. We also have the dolphins, 2 dolphins that come together and they create a heart like so. I think I know, like I said, that this was a lover's connection. You know that. They don't. You understand and appreciate its depth, the history of it. They don't. When you fail to choose a strong connection, all you can see how to belittle it. That way you can kind of justify how you're rejecting it. But at the heart of things, you two are very alike. There's a playfulness. I wish you could swim like dolphins can swim. Heroes, Bowie. They couldn't swim with you, honey. I don't think they'd know how to keep up. But the spirit was there to connect with you. You keep going your own way, honey. This one's not your hero. The hero's due back. Remember that. I hope this helped. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Aquarius, welcome to your Intimate Tarot read. We're going to start with the Ace of Wands, yeah? Let's see directly what your intimate / sexual energies are getting up to. Show me those Aquarian sexual energies, please. What's going on? Very good. Oh, excuse me. 7 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, 7, 8, 9. It's a flush. You're like, Christina, let me tell you about how I'm using my passion these days. Okay? Pentacle, work, money, coin, 401k. Man, I'll tell you what. Now, don't get me wrong, Ace of Wands, guys, I have to say this all the time, just in the regular tarot reads. Ace of Wands isn't just passion as in sexuality, okay? It's passion. You can have a passion for what you do. And for the Aquarius I'm looking at, that's you, baby. I don't know how long that's been you, but that's been you for a minute. And why should you stop? Because it's done you very well. You have been fruitful, honey. You've been prosperous. So if you want to direct, and this is absolutely fuel conversion here. This is how you're converting your energy. What you naturally feel, what fires you up, okay, what gives you energy, what gives you inspiration, what gives you passion, is for what you do currently. Will it always be like that? Probably not. Is that where it is now? Uh-huh. And it's done very well for you. It has done very, very well for you. You thrive, honey. You know, when you get your Ace of Wands energy going, you throw it into your environment, your career, your work, and look at you. You're an old hand at this, too. I mean, you want to throw your energy into something, you can and you will. That's Cinnamon. She's joining us today. So cute. When she plays with her toys, it makes me smile on the inside, you know? It just makes me smile on the inside. What's going on, please? Now, that's not to say that you don't have a sexual expression in your life. But you're saying right now, I'm all about the coin. I don't know if you feel good about it. I just know that it's done very well for you. So if your whole goal here has been to expand and to secure and secure for yourself, others, personal sense of security, financial security, you name it. Woo! What's up? Good job. That's a heck of a lot of focus. Like, thank you, I'm very passionate about what I do. I understand. Not everybody gets that. No, not everybody gets it. Let's see what's going on for you. Let's put down that baseline. Seven of Wands. And King of Cups. Okay. Queen of Cups. The Fool. Ace of Swords. Interesting. The Chariot. The Sun. Justice. You're saving your sexual energies. As far as I can tell, this one's very specific. I don't typically see all this, but it would actually absolutely explain your opening. You save your sexual energies on purpose. I actually have a lot of love here. A lot. I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it, honey, based on experience. I'm going to guess you're an Aquarius who's currently in a celibacy phase. You have a huge heart. King of Cups is attached to you. That's absolutely gorgeous. But your sexual energy, Seven of Wands, is no touchy. No. You're not play right now. You're not. You know, the sexual, Seven of Wands, it's so cute. But also, it's like, honey, I'm trying to work. Sorry. And Seven of Wands is exactly what it sounds like. It's walls, it's boundaries, particularly boundaries with our intimate energies, our physical energies, our sexual energies, the expression of them, letting them out, being receptive towards them. Either way, Seven of Wands, very selective sexually. And that's because this is for the Aquarius I'm looking at. You've learned that you are very much an emotional person. In other words, you invest emotionally. Okay, King of Cups. This is someone who tends to form connections via their heart first, not necessarily their sex or sex appeal or attraction. So this is good. So that means you know things about yourself. I'm not saying you're superior. I'm saying it's good that you know these things about yourself. And I completely agree, because I'm one of those big-hearted people too. You can't just share your fire with anyone, because your heart can go along for the ride. So when you know these things about yourself, so much the better. And you're someone who's like, I want all of me on a ride. Not just the fun ride that we can occasionally take, but my heart wants to be involved too. And it's like, knowing this about myself, knowing that I really forge connections via what I feel very strongly, by the way, with the King of Cups, I have to be sexually selective. And I completely agree with you. You might have a lot of water in your chart, because that's a very water thing to do. But, it's developed water, developed sense of, I know me. I got a big heart, and I get easily attached. And I don't want to fall in love because I'm having sex with somebody. That's pretty much what that roughly translates into. And again, that's protectiveness of your heart. Good. It's a protective of your own sense of self and your own sense of resources and who you are as a person. So your instinct to guard your heart until the right thing comes along is, as far as I can tell, 100% on point. Until then, you're like, I put what I feel into my work. So that makes so much more sense to me now. You're like, in the absence of having fun with somebody that I can safely fall in love with and feel secure with, I throw all of my energies into work. Yes, you are the definition of work it today, my friend. It's gorgeous, though. I'm not knocking it, and I completely understand your process. Like I said, some of you might have some very strong water in your chart, particularly Scorpio and Cancer. And then I have the Queen of Cups here in the middle, the Fool, Ace of Swords. I want to say soon on that one, calling that one soon, someone's making the conscious choice to open up towards you. To open up, take the risk, new beginning from their point of view. So I see their energy actually coming towards you. I don't always say that, but when it's there, I do point it out. Sometimes I can see flow of movement, okay, one's intentions and actions. So while you're over here doing your thing, and you're safeguarding your higher self, your King of Cups, and your sexual energy, while it's important to you, I can see what you do with it. That's amazing. The way you pursue your passions and your interests, and you convert it into workable fuel, that's highly admirable. Again, not everybody gets that. That's a great skill to have. Good job. A lot of people are like, well, my passions are just limited to sex. No, they're not, honey. No, they're not. It's really hard for people to see how the natural energy conversion process takes place. We do it all the time. It's just we don't know that we're doing it. It's not given names or labels. But you're the someone who gets it. In the absence of intimate relations, I throw all my passion, my interest into what I do. Makes perfect sense to me. And but like I said, someone will be on the Fool's journey shortly once they've made up their mind, and that's a solid truth. Ace of Swords, we respect it. Now this is someone who, I'm going to be honest with you, they really don't mind sexual exploration, FYI. And by that, I mean they don't exactly have just one set of preference points. This is someone who is open to learning new things, and I mean that in every sense of the word. Okay? So a little bit more about their sexual profile. This is not going to be that person who has a preferred position and leaves it at that. They like all positions. They want to try all things, or they want to learn new things about you. Open-mindedness towards their sexual energy and their spiritual energy. But I can tell you this, once they choose to focus, that's where they go. Queen of Cups, this will represent an opportunity for a shared love space. Okay? It's beautiful. And you've already made it clear. You've made your position clear. Okay? I don't engage in sexual energies. Doesn't mean I don't have them. I just use them for other things in the absence of love. So if it's not an emotional connection, it ain't going to happen. So it looks like we have the opportunity to exchange love here, to develop it, and have two people share a similar frequency, which is lovely. The Chariot, the Sun, Justice. Man, when things get going, they're going to get going. Okay? Yeah, 3 majors right there towards the end. This is yet to cross your timeline, I believe. Like I said, the operative word here is soon. When it hits, I'll tell you that. And when it goes, it goes. It's going to propel quickly. And with a certain strength of will, too. It's going to feel sexually correct for the both of you, emotionally correct for the both of you. Wow. You two collide quite well, I must say. It's going to feel very equal and strong. And like I said, when it shows up, it'll move forward fast. But once more, I'm not telling you what to do. Tarot does not dictate action, you do. Tarot is the proof of choice, not the absence of it. You've already showed me you will not lower your sexual guard unless you feel emotionally comfortable with somebody. So guess what I see you doing in the future. Okay? So I don't know how long you've been doing without. I see you've been very prosperous. What I am saying is that you finally lower your guard. Someone seems to be very compatible to you. Emotionally, spiritually, sexually. There's the sexual piece. I mean, that's lovely. That's a lot of forward momentum. Wow, I'd like to get a little bit more on this person because I'm not saying it's going to be perfectly easy. Okay, we're not clarifying. If I clarified every single one, I'd see hesitation and I'd see where somebody's still hung up on bullshit of the past and all the normal stuff. I'm not. So things are obviously moving progressively forward on the baseline here. But I will say there's no confidence quite like someone showing up knowing they want to be there. That is quite attractive. It's like, you know what? I decided to take out a new beginning and I'm pointing that new beginning at you. I'm terribly intrigued about you. More than. I made up my mind to come up towards you. I hope you like what you see. I hope you like what I present. I don't know. But there's something very authentic about that. But I have to insist, honey, this is someone who doesn't really have default positions in bed or necessarily just keep it to the bedroom. You understand what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah, it's like that. Okay. Anything else in here, please, that we should know about? The Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Swords, the Truth is the Hierophant. I told you, when this person knows, they know. Look at that commitment. Could be Taurus. But look at that. When they show up, they show the fuck up. But it's over the passage of time. That truth, Ace of Swords, twice. It's a hard-earned truth. They have to know that they want to be there. And when they know, they show up. Without fault or fail. But this is something that they had to learn they wanted to be there and point themselves at you over a period of time. So I really don't know who this is. But I do know they're mentally, spiritually, sexually committed. Even while they might be sexually open and adventurous, they have a very strong sense of commitment behind their sexual energy, which is lovely. Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. The Sun, there it is. You two will match frequencies in the heart space as well as practical endeavors. Well, I should bloody well think so. I mean, look at all those pentacles. So you have a very strong sense of can do and will do. You two share that. You have a very strong appreciation for the fundamentals, practicality, and physical needs as well. You really do. I told you, you two really do match each other in terms of physical needs. But not only that, prioritizing each other. So that's lovely. We do not neglect the sexual needs here. We don't neglect the emotional needs here. Everybody's needs are met, which is wonderful. It's very warm. I strongly suspect you both have some sort of Leo in your chart. And possibly earthian concepts, such as I would see with Taurus and Capricorn. Goodness me. Look at how thriving that is. It's so supportive, understanding of each other's needs and never neglecting them. It's so gorgeous. That's absolutely gorgeous. Let go of the need to control. Allow this situation to unfold unnaturally. In other words, when it shows up, you might have an initial reaction of, just putting a wall up immediately like you've done in the past. They're saying you might have gotten a little used to that. That's okay. I understand. That process makes perfect sense to me. And I can definitely see where it become a default behavior. Automatically guards up, shields up. Oh, someone's trying to introduce themselves to me. This one's a little bit more than somebody shaking their page of wands at you. They come in with a strong truth, not once but twice. So they got something to say. You know, their sexual energy aside, they got something to say. So it's very declaring, very declaring. Like I said, there's no confidence quite like that of a hard-earned truth. And to say absolutely, I'm pointing this truth at you, what say ye? So let go of the need to control. You, again, out of habit, almost reflexive habit. All right, but I understand it's because you're trying to guard your heart. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. It's gorgeous. Okay. I don't feel necessarily compelled to use every single oracle here. I just set them out. That way I have them available to me if I feel so inclined. Let's see. Unchain my heart. I still feel stuck in this and want to free myself. I don't know. Unchain my heart. Unchain. Yeah, I see you guarding your heart. Take away the little message. Unchain my heart. I see you want someone to present more than just their sexual energy towards you. You're saying that's easy. That part you got in the bag. If you love somebody, right, your sexual energy is going to favor them. That's what it is to kind of live through your heart and live through your heart intimately. Unchain my heart. It's like you want a reason to put your wall down. You want a reason to let your guard down. I guess they give you a good one, honey, because they're showing that Ace of Swords like it's a key. You know, there's something to say for that. Healing. Some of you have been quiet. Healing your sexual energies, just being quiet. Knowing who to allow in and out of your life, if at all. Quiet sort of sexual healing, being comfortable with yourself. Okay? Can't put a price on that. Number 24. I feel like I was supposed to see the number 24. I have no idea why. Okay. We have the letters C, U, A. We have the medallion. Yeah. It's here twice. Ambitious, sign of Capricorn. Generous, sign of Leo. Like I said, you two might share those features in some way. But yeah. You both might share some sort of energy around Leo and Capricorn. The season might be important as well. And then we have the wheel. The Wheel of Fortune combined with the world. Doors open, doors close. And in the meantime, time continues to unfold. You know, things change over time. But they always go forward. This is a little further out. Speaking of which, let's see if I can pull some sort of reference here. Within 2 weeks for some of you. My. Okay. All right, cool. Aquarius, honey, I do hope this helped you. Beautiful energies. I completely understand your process. I really do. It's admirable. I can see where initially you put your guard up, your shield up. But once more, this is not a page approaching you. Okay? This is someone who's made up their mind and they want to open up, take a risk. That requires decided action and a thoughtful direction. And I also see that same person committed to that direction. Okay? It's pretty cool, actually. I hope this helped you. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well. Gemini, welcome to your intimate tarot reading. We're going to start with the Ace of Wands, yeah? Let's take a look at your overall intimate energies. What's going on for Gemini? What's going on, please? Right. The Hierophant. The Emperor. Oh, my. 8 of Pentacles. Oh, man. Strong sense of how you use your passion, what it's for and why. Someone had the Emperor and the Hierophant on their opening. I want to say it was a fire sign, and it was this deck, not this one. So, check out one of the fire. Honey, I kind of wipe in between readings. It's just the easiest thing to do. So, no, I can't remember everybody's, even though I just did them an hour ago or whatever. Sorry. But, yeah. There's a strong sense of commanding self in your sexual energies. You're like, I know what it's for, I know what it's about, and my sexual energy serves me. Absolutely. Good job. Well done. I love that. That's a lot of masculine energy in there. I'm not saying you have to be masculine. What I am saying is that you have a strong commanding respect of your sexual energy, your hope, your sense of passion, what it ties you to, what it is you vie for, what it is that intrigues you, what it is that frankly turns you on and propels you. So you have a strong sense of passion. Sexuality, yes, but passion, as in other things in my life that are equally important to me and I pursue them, yes, that's also true. So again, you're showing me development of self, development of sexual energies, what it means to you, how you put it into practice, so on and so forth. And much like Aquarius, although yours is a little different, yours a little different, so is theirs, but they showed me that, currently their passion is completely wrapped up in this identity of work, but they had their reasons for it. And you're like, this is just part of who I am. I understand part of my passion is commitment. I understand part of my passion is higher self and sense of destiny and direction, and I make that happen for me. So a big part of you, it's not just work, Eight of Pentacles, it's also the sense of pride. I get things done because of my passion. I believe in who I am because of my passion. So you have a little bit more of a comprehensive picture. But yes, is passion a driving force for you? Uh-huh. It's how you relate to it as a person. And that you understand that. It's part of what makes you who you are. So you're showing me command, cool, calm. Does it deeply affect you? Yes. But do you make sure that your passion works for you at the end of the day? Yes. You're saying if my passion doesn't represent me well, then it's not good passion. And I respect that. That's really strong. Really, really strong. So let's see if you're sharing that with anybody intimately or if you're all about being your most empowered higher self right now. There you go. I respect that. But you look strong, you look healthy, you look very vital. A strong sense of self-awareness, and I love that. You're one of those people I don't have to lecture on too deeply about how there's more than one kind of passion, To say the least, you are productive. You admire creativity. I do know that. There's something about the flame that draws you. But you're much more likely to try to manage it. It's, you admire creativity. You really do. But you take a lot of pride in being able to harness your own sense of passion. That's respectable. It is. Now let's see what's going on, please. Nine of Swords. The Knight of Swords. Death. Temperance. The Hanged Man. I hate seeing stuff like that. It gets so confusing, as you've experienced for yourself. Yeah, confusing. The Moon. The Three of Pentacles. And the Knight of Cups. We'll get to that. Over here, on the surface, you're anxious. You're anxious. When I pull you aside from your higher self and commanding self and I take a look at your mind, there's something here that stresses you out, sexually speaking, because it doesn't seem to be apparent. Knight of Swords, you try to keep it in rein. You try to keep the lines of communication open between yourself and this person. But the communication here doesn't seem to soothe you. That's a problem. But you're doing your best to work with it and to communicate with it. Okay. And it is active. You are trying to keep the sexual energy active, but in check. Not to be overly preoccupied with it, not to be obsessed with it, not to be overly anxious with it. But you can honestly say it's legitimately a concern to you. And what is that? Currently, the sexual energies, I don't know that they're dead between you two, but they seem to be undergoing a transformative state. The sexual energy between you two isn't expressed how it used to be. I don't know that it's full-time ending or full-on ending. Bare minimum, it's transformative. In other words, how you express or experience your sexual energies between yourself and this person now is not how it used to be some time ago. You don't really recognize it. It doesn't feel very embracing. It doesn't feel very warm. It leaves you hanging, right? What's the sexual energy like between us now? It doesn't seem to have any definition. It's weird. It's awkward. But once more, you're trying to keep all your thoughts in check with the Knight of Swords. It's like, don't run away with this. Come on, man. Don't run away with this. Or lady, don't let yourself run away with the thoughts and the fears and the phobias. It's just Try to accept it for where it is now. And you are a Temperance, the Hanged Man. Someone has, suspended their sexual energy. They have suspended them. And it's frustrating because it leaves you in a space of, I don't know where you and I are. But I'm also trying to show that I'm a higher person than that. I'm a stronger person than that. And first and foremost, my passions are for good things. Okay. So again, strong sense of upper division, developed sense of self. And that includes how you perceive your passion. Again, well done. But when it comes to a connection between yourself and someone else, you're like, the sexual energy between us is really alien these days. It doesn't seem very approachable, but it doesn't feel like it's terribly over. And that's why I say it's so difficult, just because it's in a tricky space of in between and question marks. But again, you're trying to keep your cool about it. Like, it doesn't bother me. It's okay. It's not an issue. It's going to work itself out. And in Temperance, the Hanged Man, I mean, I'm sure this person suspended their sexual energy for good reason, but it does involve elements of healing here that aren't obvious to me. But their sexual energy looks far away and detached from even themselves. Never mind between you two directly. Like I said, it's in a transformative place. Now, the Moon. There's a lot of things that are unknown, but now what's interesting here is further out. 3 of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, the Moon. You know, you have a very secret longing for some sort of emotional stability, something. You don't feel like you can express this. That's an active secret. You very much crave, even in the smallest of ways, some sort of emotional and sexual connection. It's not a lot. It's really not. I also don't blame you, you know. When you don't recognize the sexual energy between yourself and your partner, and they seem to be suspended from their own sense of sexual self too. Again, not a criticism. It's just where they are. And why it's so frustrating is because you literally don't know where that leaves you, while you're over here trying to tell yourself not to be anxious about it. And it's hard. It's hard. I want to give you some advice, except what I'm seeing here under your Moon is real, it's valid, and it makes perfect sense. You know, you would like a little more cooperation at the emotional and physical, intimate level. A little bit more. 3 of Pentacles isn't a lot. But you also feel the need to keep that to yourself, like you shouldn't ask or you're not supposed to ask. And that's upsetting. It might be one of those things, guys, where you prompt it, and that might help give this space a little bit more definition. Because right now you're working, sexually speaking, with a void, and you'd like to give that void a little bit more definition, a little more shape, into something that you can recognize. So it actually might be more helpful then to talk about it instead of assuming that you can't. Okay? A little bit more. Now, I know that there is something here. There is some sort of connection here, sexually and emotionally, and you're craving just a little bit more of it. I wish they were a little more friendly with their emotional selves and their sexual selves. That's all. And you're not asking for a lot. So I would prompt right there to help give that void a little bit more definition. Now, I don't want anyone to give what they're not willing to give, of course, ever. But this person's connected to you in some way. And while I understand they're undergoing some sort of construction in their sexual energies and their spiritual energies, if they are in any way connected to you intimately, then you have something in you that suggests you should be able to speak to it. Okay? I don't know. It's so freaking frustrating because I wish this had more shape. I really do. Three of Cups. I know. Justice, the Ten of Pentacles. That's what I'm saying. I know the difference between something's over, as in it has no pulse, to this still has a pulse. It's just, its rhythm's changed. And that's where I caught you, some of you, Geminis, and that's if you resonate today, is a pulse that you are familiar with, but it's changing its rhythm, its sexual rhythm. And it's yet to redefine itself. It's literally under transformation right now. It's a difference, guys, with death. You got to know when something's over and when something's changing. And it's clear, it's suspended under a place of change. You're on standby, but you're anxious. You only want a little bit more something to show that there is improvements here, that there is progress being made, but you don't feel like you can ask for that, so you take it to the moon. But you two are very grounded, very founded. 10 of Pentacles, Justice, 3 Cups. In some way, you two still recognize that you emotionally harmonize, and therefore that you sexually harmonize. It's something that's been well established between you two over the years. And make no mistake, this is a year's construct. In some way, you two know that you still complement each other emotionally and sexually. It's been established. They're currently not expressing themselves. You would ask for a little bit more. Okay, something. Even if it was just emotional intimacy. A little bit more romance. A little bit more emotional consideration. How was your day? Did you know I love you? When was the last time I told you I loved you? That's my bad. I didn't mean to do that. I love you every day, even if I don't say it. A little bit more emotional intimacy, inclusion. You want those things too. So I know you love this person. I want you to speak to that. Because I respect the process, I do. But every now and again, even the deepest of thinkers and the deepest of philosophers need to be pulled back down to planet Earth and say, hey, where are we? You know? I'm not trying to push you. I'm not trying to rush you. You heal what you need to heal. You figure out what you need to figure out. But I'm here too. And if this is at all some sort of partnership the way I think it is, it should be partnership enough where you feel safe to express even the most bare minimum of your intimate kind of secret self. Okay? I would just advocate that you advocate for you. Okay. And this one's taking time, I'm not going to lie. That's a bit of a suspended state. It is. Okay? Oh. She who bears the rose. There's a lot of red emphasized here. Romance, love. This is either the person we have our emotional desires and sexual desires attached to, or this is you. Number 29. Let's try that again. The owl's great wisdom. And a lot of strong conversations between you and this person. So these are a little bit more than the surface level. Surface, that's my lisp. These are a little bit more than surface level conversations. This is in-depth communication between two people. Two people who know better, strong knowledge base of what's going on between them. You've had talks. Okay. All right, you've had talks. They've informed you as best they can then of what's going on. Okay. So it's your turn to kind of be like a little bit more of an emotional prompter. You can set the rationality and logic aside. It's not sexual pressure. It wouldn't even be emotional pressure. You two are supposed to be a support system. Remember that. It's perfectly okay to say these are what I've been feeling a little bit these days. Yeah, the institute for which you two serve. I strongly suspect you two are married. Strongly suspect. I'm not saying based on one card marriage. No. This has long-term written on it. You opened up with the Hierophant and that kind of point of reference about this is who I am, this is what I do, and I understand what my Ace of Wands is for. Thank you very much. That was a very strong declaration. We have some 10 of Pentacles thrown in there. We got some Justice thrown in there. We have the Institute thrown in there. We have that strong sense of we know each other quite well. And what's changing between us intimately is transforming, and I don't know what it looks like yet. And it makes you nervous. I get it. And when somebody who's in something small and insecure, they wouldn't have been able to handle something like this. Okay? I'm not telling you have to handle it. I'm not saying that, you have to hang in there. I'm saying this is what I'm seeing for you today. I'm just saying you two know each other well, and I'm seeing a practiced relationship here of a back and forth and a give and take and trying to understand each other. Okay? Because there's a sense that that's what we signed up for. That's all here. And the institute for which we serve. I mean, look, you are respecting their big spiritual transformation and sexual transformation, okay? Hopefully it's a restoration. You'll know more about that in time. But in the meantime, remember, you're still a person operating in this world. You're going to have emotional needs as well. And you can express them in the Three of Pentacles, okay? You should be able to. Remember that. Okay. Not check in. That's not quite right. I don't have to use all these oracles. It's just kind of whatever speaks to me. Separation, time apart from your partners on the horizon. So some of you might be taking a break soon, as in physical. There might be separation due to family or work. I don't quite know. But not only are our sexual energies kind of suspended and transforming, might be some physical separation coming up soon, but we know this. Some of you, actually the both of you, might have put your heads together and say, we've been together a long time. Maybe we should take some time apart. I don't know. I do know this. You get to choose your level of participation. I only want you to figure out what's right for you because it feels safe and secure to you and between you and your person. So whatever it is you two decide is probably correct. Okay? Remember that. And then separation might simply be because somebody's got stuff where they got to be somewhere. It can be that simple. You know? Take your power back. Okay. You're giving control over someone how you feel in your happiness. And you need to take your power back. That's what I'm talking about, speaking to your moon. While you may seem like no big deal, I don't want to put pressure on them for emotional intimacy, even if it's just in a friendly way. It's not pressure, honey, when it's supposed to be a healthy partnership. Okay? The Three of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups should not be under the moon. You've really respected where they are, okay, in their sexual and spiritual change, and continuing to do so. Make sure it's reciprocated. That's fair. All right? It could be as simple as I want to hear I love you and hold your hand from time to time. It's not suddenly, oh, hey, we've never tried bondage before. Let's take that up all of a sudden. No. Why do people think in extremes? Sometimes people have very basic needs, and they're afraid to say it. You have such a beautiful strength of will, and your exterior is phenomenal. Apply that at home, where it counts, between you and this person. That's enough. I'll get off my soapbox. Hey, everybody's getting a C. Letter C, I, palm hand. Some of you take your spirituality very, very seriously, or some of you have some very strong Taurus in your chart. Okay, Gemini, honey, I hope this helped you. I do. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Libra, welcome to your Intimate Tarot Check-In. We're going to start with the Ace of Wands first. What's going on, please? Show me that sexual energy for Libra. Show me that sexual energy, please, for Libra. All right, what's going on? Ten of Cups, King of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. Wow, that's beautiful. Well done. Congratulations to the both of you, because there's clearly someone else in there with you. You two very much are each other's world. You've built a whole world together. A high emotional value system there with the Ten of Cups, where all is harmonized between yourself, that person, and others. The family unit, if you will, but your inner circle. It is quite balanced between yourself and someone else. It's quite lovely. It looks very comfortable. A lot of heart in there and a lot of good practical value, too, with the King of Pentacles here. So here we have a whole way of life, and you throw all your passion into it. Your sense of direction, this is what it's all about. Your intensity, it's all about building that emotional equilibrium between myself and the people who matter most in my life. And you're saying that's where my passion is these days? Is everything that I and my person have built, and I feel secure. Specifically, your emphasis here is on emotional security and how well you have done there, okay? And it gives you a sense of pride. It gives you a sense of accomplishment between you and this person. In terms of sexual energies, I don't know. We'll get there. But as far as you're concerned right now, you're saying the best of your passion, your sense of hope and direction, your light of path, the Ace of Wands, says it goes so much beyond you and your person, but rather the focus on what you two have built together. It's a quality of life. It's a way of life. It's lovely. Okay? All right. It's what you've always wanted, or you didn't know you wanted it until you were in it, that kind of thing. But there's a huge emphasis here on emotional security. And that's what gets you up in the morning. That's what makes you feel good, is to know you're part of something larger. Okay, cool. All right, what's going on? Let's check out that baseline, please. Cinnamon's dreaming. Oh, did you hear that? Oh. She's a very active dreamer. Very active dreamer, let me tell you. Okay, 4 of Cups, Page of Swords. 3 of Cups, 10 of Wands, and the King of Cups. Death. The Knights of Pentacles and the Fool. Okay. As I already say, your sexual flame has gone out for somebody. And I was like, I don't know why I'm seeing it, because of the way you opened. It was so beautiful. It was so powerful. And that was your focus. And it's such a gorgeous focus. For many of you, this is what you're hoping to accomplish. But as far as I can tell, it's already in place. It looks like it's in place. It looks quite comfortable for you. It looks really like, this is my jam. This is my ride. This is the gears I've shifted into methodically over the years, as a sense of emotional harmony, love, and balance and security. And it's gorgeous. As far as I can tell, it's in play. Now, many of you will, let me just rip the Band-Aid off. For some of you, this is a future-oriented reading. You don't know this has happened yet. Some of you have yet to begin your new beginnings. And what I'm seeing here then is your sense of peace and accomplishment for the life that you want. In which case, congratulations to you. But this is a very future reading then. It does happen. Sometimes readings can be 100% predictive. It's one of the reasons why we're here. Okay? For others of you, you've already accomplished this. And what I'm seeing for you here is the dying embers of what it is you used to be attached to. So I don't know why I'm seeing it, but let's talk about it. 4 of Cups and the Page of Swords. Frankly, the enthusiasm, to say the least, wore off in you keeping your eye on somebody. It's a cup that ran shallow, and it was a fire that burned out a long time ago. There was something about your emotional and sexual energy that was always on standby, or you felt like a helpless participant. In that respect, all you could do was watch, and it always made you unhappy. There's something about that. You don't feel the effects at all like you used to. Always feeling like you're on the outside looking in at emotional and sexual energies that weren't yours. That sucks. I don't know why at one point you felt like that. But for those of you, this is where you are now, and this is where you used to be. I want you to see how far you've come. From always feeling like the outsider looking in to being part of something that would include you because it wants you there and because it loves you. Here you are, being a little outsider, peeking through other people's windows. Oh, this is what a big loving family and life is like. This is what a big emotional and sexual energy looks like. This is what a big committed energy looks like. Always looking at other people, never quite satisfied, nowhere near satisfied yourself. Those days are over. And I can see where you felt stunted because you kept trying to connect to someone who couldn't or wouldn't. Emotionally, try to connect to somebody here who had big love but wouldn't allow you to have access to them. 10 of Wands. The sexual energy was always combative or never completed. They had big feelings, but found it easier to keep you away, to shove the sexual energy away, to shove the exchange of love away. It was much easier to carry the weight of it than actually share it with you. So someone then kind of kept you on the outside looking in. And that, my dear, kind of pisses me off. I mean, and I say that because the 3 of Cups is right there in the middle. That means they exchange with you in some way of their own free will. But not the whole thing, right? I'm big on, because I live in the South, so I love me some good Tex-Mex, right? You know what pisses me off? When I order some enchiladas and ain't nothing come with it. No rice, no beans, no guacamole, no pico de gallo. Nothing. So imagine, if you will, you ordered enchiladas, but all you got was the rice and beans. Not the actual enchilada itself. Now, I know that sounds very sexual and it's appropriate for intimate tarot. I'm not going to lie. The puns and the innuendos, they work themselves out pretty easily. Okay. They just fall into place of their own accord. It doesn't take much work. I don't have to think about that, is my point. So I'm actually not trying to make that sexual. But do you see what I'm saying? You got rice and beans, and they're like, I have more, but this is what I'm going to allow you to have. So this person connected to you intentionally, knowing they couldn't give you diddly squat. There's a reason why you always... Now, listen. I'm always going to insist on this. You get to choose your own level of participation. Many of you allowed yourselves to stay on the outside looking in until maybe one day you realized it weren't fucking worth it. It's a show of life. It's a pretend life. It's the fantasy of something more, but you're never quite allowed to have it. It's the carrot that was always dangled in front of you, but you never actually got to get the carrot. Okay? Some of you got your eyes glued on that carrot instead of the person who was holding the stick. Okay? Or the string, whatever. So I'm glad to see that's not where you are anymore. Someone here had a lot more to offer you, and then they gave you 3 cups. They gave you the rice and beans. You had to understand at some point you couldn't live off that, right? You're paying for a full order and you get maybe a third of it, if that, maybe a quarter of it. Emotional energy, sexual energy, time, energy, and effort, whatever. The point is, that's not where you are now, or that's not where you will be in future, because Death, Knights of Pentacles, the Fool, boom. Yeah, no, whatever that is, it's over. You free yourself from it. You let go of it. You understand that you were allowing yourself to be entertained, that you were allowing them to entertain you, and you really don't want to be the person being entertained. You want to live the show because you are a main feature, a main character, not an audience member. Okay? Yeah, that nonsense needs to stop. So this is where you are today because you did all this work. You realized it for what it was. You woke the hell up and you discontinued all activity of this bullshit. You stop. I'm not going to live the fantasy anymore. I'm not going to be an outsider looking in telling myself it's okay. One day it'll be the big thing. One day I'll get the full plate of food instead of the scraps, right? And then boom, your new beginning, and here's where you are today, in which case, congratulations. For others of you, this is predictive. It's yet to be. You're still caught up in this bullshit back here. And you have yet to do the thing. But if you do, people who do the hard thing get the reward. Mark my words. Listen again. People who do the hard thing get the best rewards. Don't be one of these people, one of these fools that says this is as good as it gets. I should be happy I get anything with them at all. No. No. Sexual or otherwise. Most of it's water. Most of what you're showing me is vast disappointment, aching in your heart because you know you should be receiving more and you never do. So I don't know if you got yourself in a situationship or you're somebody's side fun. I don't fucking know. It's not my business. My point is, it doesn't suit you. This suits you. That is garbage. Which you will see for yourself. Death, Knights of Pentacles, and the Fool. Yes, please. Bravo. 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 Clap. Clap in the back. Okay? When you understand what's right for you, act accordingly. Stop making excuses and stop living for the fantasy. Because that is... like, I could give me more, but they give me as much as they can. Bullshit. Whatever story or dialogue you've been talking in your head for I don't know how long, stop the talk. Okay? It's a fantasy. It was a friendship at best. It wasn't a very good one. Yeah. Let me tell you something. If someone wants to give you more, they give you more. If someone wants to give you less, then make sure that you get less. So do yourself a favor and give nothing at all. You know, there's a common phrase, I know you've heard it, everybody has. Less is more, which is often true, particularly when we're doing creative things. This is not a creative thing. This is an emotional thing. So in this respect, the definition stands strictly. Less is less. And more is more. Okay? Ace of Cups. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for some of you, this is 100% predictive. It's yet to be. You want a new, you want a full cup, you want someone to stop fucking around, playing with your feelings, then stop allowing them to play with your feelings. Or your sexual energies. Or your mind. Probably a little bit of everything. You want new, prove it. Pack this shit up, move on. You don't owe them an explanation, not from what I can see. By all rights, it looks like you need to block this shit and let it go. Okay? Heal along the way out the door. It's none of their business, and it doesn't look like you owe them an apology. You know, it's one of those things. When somebody knows they're wasting their time, they know they're wasting your time. They're just delaying it. That's all. They're delaying the inevitable because they're getting something from you. Admiration, a little extra love, a little extra sexual attention, but they know they're getting something from you. Okay? So stop giving it. Oh my goodness. I get very impassioned when I see things like this. One of the reasons why I read Intimate Tarot, honey. Learn it once, don't learn it twice. That's what I say. Overthinking, playing negative scenarios in your head over and over again, overthinking. You already know what's here. You already know what's obvious. Yeah, overthinking. Don't overthink. This, you overthought this. You gave it way too much thought, way too much consideration. Why else would you explain the delay effect? Whereas this, you're not going to need to overthink. When somebody has intentions, they make them clear. Did you hear me? When somebody has intentions, they make them clear. It's not convoluted. It's not confusing. It's not like complicated. Oh my God. No, it's clear. It's straightforward. I want this. I want us. I want you. I want to make a life with you. That's it. That way, two people aren't stumbling and fumbling around. Okay? Screwing things up. They're on point. They're on page. Okay, that's enough. This, we don't need to overthink. This, you overthought way too much. And look where it got you. As for your sexual energy, I wouldn't fucking know. Because by the time this is dead, your sexual and emotional energy for this is so suppressed, is so bummed out. It's limping. No pun intended on that one either. What little bang for your buck you got was maybe feeling a little good in their company time to time. Whereas over here, your sexuality is clearly tied to your heart space because someone is in a healthy way preoccupying it. Letters R, L, A. We have two medallions here. Cancer, Pisces. You might have some very strong water in your chart could be connecting to, and this season's might be important to you. And then we have the snake in reverse, upside down. We don't want anything venomous. We don't want vengeance either. We don't want to get our own back. It's I don't want to continue to get bitten by this. You know, it's a great saying when you see these kind of relationships like this. It's like being bitten by a snake. And instead of leaving the snake, getting away from the snake, and healing from the snake, you stick around, keep trying to capture the snake, just so it can bite you more, so you can insist on asking why it bit you. Because it's a fucking snake. It's in its nature. That's why. It's not going to give you an explanation. And it's not going to give you an apology. So drop it. Heal from it. Let it go slither into the bushes. All right? All right, that's enough of that. Sorry, like I said, I get very impassioned. That's why I'm here. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Like I said, I'm an acquired taste, honey. I'm not for everybody. I know that. Regardless, though, I hope it helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Taurus, welcome to your Thursday check-in. We're going to start by clarifying the Ace of Wands, yeah? Show me that Taurian. Sexual energy, please. Show me Taurus. Show me that Taurian. Intimate energies, please. What's up? The Chariot. The Hermit. Queen of Wands. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's interesting. This is very much your way. We're going to speed it up and we're going to slow it down accordingly. Sexual energy or otherwise, apparently. But it's strong, though, and it's sincere. You're showing me swift energies towards right. I've made up my energetic mind, if you will. And my passions want to go forward in this direction very strongly with the Chariot, but then the Hermit here, okay, pulls it back a little bit and says it's coming from a good place, though, of experience, wanting to heal your own particular sexual energies while simultaneously make progress in moving them forward. And then the Queen of Wands, there's something here that attracts you, and it's asking you to be forward, be present, but also, I don't know, take into consideration that sense of healing and experience and wisdom, and be tempered about this. Be calm, be steady, not too fast. Even though the sincerity of your convictions is there with the Chariot, it also says, let's be cool, let's be calm with this, right? Because your intensity's there. I like your forward momentum, but then you intentionally pull it back, which suggests experience and or wisdom. And the Queen of Wands, that's something outside of you that compels and calls you very strongly. It's very attractive. Okay? So let's get into that baseline and see what this is all about. So it's interesting. You can shift gears when you want to, honey. I know. Let's take a look at Taurus. What's going on? Show me Taurus, please. Here's you, the Hierophant. Yeah. The moon. The moon. Taurus. What? The Hanged Man. The Empress, Six of Wands. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. You know what? We'll get back to that. Four of Wands, the Lovers of Three of Pentacles. Tricky position. You're not the first person to show me that, and it's pretty normal. So we have a job here of teasing it out. Three of Pentacles and Lovers, particularly in intimate tarot, can have several meanings. It kind of depends on surrounding cards and what the heck's going on. So given the power of your opening, I can kind of feel the sincerity of your energy. Your sexual energy is there. And like I said, the forward momentum, the drive there with the Chariot, also on point. The Hermit there suggests experience, healing, wisdom, steady hand, calm presentation. Because there is an energy here that provokes you. And it is quite provoking. But you're showing up. You're showing up in your own energies that says, I'm thoughtful, I'm here, I'm being considerate, but also, I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of excited. You are. Now, having said that, over here looking at you individually, it's like, what I'm doing is none of your business. So, with a Taurus, honey, we've had this talk. Why are you here? Why are you here? You just tell me what I need to know, and that's my business. Yeah. So there you are, keeping secrets. The Hierophant and the Moon. Yeah, so you just showed me your power energy with the moon on top of that. Now, first of all, you might have some very strong Pisces in your chart. That's not the point. The point is that your sexual energies, you're taking them to a very deep place. Now, you're still trying to own them as the Hierophant. The Hierophant really should not deny, okay, what makes us who we are in terms of this is what I stand up for. This is me. I wouldn't have it any other way. This is what I commit to within myself. So I know there's a portion of you that does commit to your sexual energies and what they mean to you, how they affect you. But it's also kind of like saying, it's my business. So you are showing me that you take your sexual energies to a very deep place that only you would allow yourself to have access to. Okay, fine. So long as you acknowledge them, what's actually under there, what you're really feeling, what you secretly desire, all that stuff, you want to take that to the moon, fine. Just don't be in denial about it. That's all I ask for people. By all means, I tell people all the time, if you want to keep your secrets, fine, just so long as you are indeed the one who's aware of them. Because ultimately, you're the one who needs to know. If you're in denial about your own moon energies, that's when they play havoc on us. They cause absolute discord. But so long as you own the knowledge, even if you keep it to yourself, well, there we have self-awareness. Therefore, you can still claim your sexual energies, even if they're just for you and only for you at this time. I know why you have decided that, why you abide by that, I don't know. But you have such a strong lockdown on what it is you really desire, what it is you really feel, sexually or otherwise. Okay? Fine. I'll leave you alone on that. Just once more, so long as you are in possession, not in denial. Because when the Hierophant wants to be in denial, oh boy, does that cause problems. Okay? Because that's when we lean into things about false beliefs, core false beliefs. And that can take a lot of stuff to undo, a lot of work to undo. Okay? Healing and all that. So I'm assuming then you at least are in possession of what it is that you keep secret. And a Hanged Man. No shit. So standby. There's some sexual standby between you and somebody. That's got to be a very elaborate standby. It's kind of like saying, well, it's kind of stalemate for me because I'm keeping my shit to myself. But they're over here and their energy is different. Theirs is much more external. Theirs is like, I am who I am. And that's no joke. They're like the person, the Six of Wands, their sexual energy is just, this is how it is. This is me, and I quite like me. I love being me. I am in total ownership of my body, my sexual presentation. Oh, and also, P.S., I'm quite comfortable with it. So yeah, it can come across a little arrogant, a little flashy, a little peacocky. But I will say this, they know themselves and they're very exclusive. Okay? But also they're like, I got the goods though. Yeah. And so this is knowledge acquired by oneself and owning oneself. Like I said, it's very external. They're not shy about who they are. This is someone who feels that their sexual energy is one of the things that makes them empowered. And frankly, that's the way it should be. Perhaps it's a little flashy with the Six of Wands. Okay. Maybe they have confidence. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Like all things, it depends on what we do with it. But they're saying it's one of the things that make them who they are. They're very colorful, very vibrant. They don't try to shut it down or be shy about it. It's just who they are. You know that. So you don't act like you know. I see you contemplating them. You understand their attraction and how it affects you. It's one of the things that motivates your sexual energy to move outward outside of itself. So it's interesting. You have a very internal process where it's like, oh, God. Oh, if anybody knew about my deepest sexual desires, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Nobody can know. Nobody can know. Nobody can know. Am I a weird Taurus? No, you're not a weird Taurus, honey. You're not. It's just like all things for Taurus. You can take what you feel to a very deep place, especially if you feel like what you see on the inside of yourself isn't reflected on the outside. And that's where Taurus can get very shy with who they are. You know, you're such big, powerful creatures, honey. So when it comes to you connecting to someone like you and it's not obvious, you tend to keep things to yourself, you know? So I can say that when you want to powerfully keep something to yourself, you will. So you two are currently on, or your sexual energy, I should say, has been on standby. You've needed time for perspective. They needed time for perspective. They have a very strong idea of who you are. Again, just don't keep secrets from you. Okay? Own who you are. Be proud. Right? Four of Wands, the Lovers, Three of Pentacles. Now, yes, relationship energy is, rather the potential of it is, oh yeah. Sparks. Like this. Okay, cool. That's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Could a constructive relationship be built out of this lover's connection? Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's my German coming out. Ja, das ist gut. Yes, very much so. A relationship could be built out of this. Now, I don't remember who I gave the spiel to. Three of Pentacles to the Lovers. Complicated, tricky. If all you want is a friends and benefits type situation, then that's a decision between you two. They're showing me that they are kind of exclusive with their sexual energy, so I can already tell you it's not going to fly. You take your stuff to a very deep place, and then the way you present yourself suggests sincerity. Strength of will, okay, experience, wisdom, calmness. I don't think a friends with benefits is what either of you wants. I don't. Otherwise, I wouldn't be seeing the Four of Wands here, and I wouldn't be seeing such deep contemplation. Deep contemplation isn't necessary so much when a friends with benefits type of situation, especially if someone is showing me Emperor and Empress status, and you're showing me thoughtfulness and wisdom. Nah, it just doesn't match. What I'm seeing here is the willingness to cooperate, perhaps from the beginning, leaving no stone unturned. Friendship, just build into this first, see how it goes. Because the idea is something constructible. Four of Wands is still going to be constructible. It's still fire-based. Again, something has to bring you two together. But it can be built into some sort of relationship structure. It's quite powerful that you two are potentially trying to harness the lover's connection to build something together, which doesn't always fly, as we know. The only thing I don't recommend, of course, is to have a very strong connection and call it friends. That don't work. Or that when you understand you have a friend and it becomes a strong connection, again, trying to force the same label on a new it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's the only thing I don't recommend. But other than that, you two are figure it out. That's what the whole Three of Pentacles is for. Understanding, this is what I can do, this is what you can do. We're not going to push it. I can build into it. You can build into it. And then you match back and forth. And you see if you two can sync up and you're on the same page with your build efforts. And then you take it from there. I mean, that's all anybody can do. But in terms of friends with benefits, if that's where you two lean, that's a decision between you two. I just don't think that's where either one of you is leaning. No. And there really wouldn't be a point to try to build a powerful relationship / connection by just calling each other friends. Again, that very rarely works out. Okay. But I say good luck to the both of you. You and your deep inner dialogues of your sexual energy. It's like, what do you get up in there? Maybe I don't want to know. Actually, that's not true. I would love to know. It looks so mysterious. Oh, yes. Ooh. We have some very strong fantasies by night, moonlight. Open yourself to love. It is safe for you to let your heart be seen. Don't be scared. What was I telling you about? Okay? Especially if you're not used to seeing on the outside what you feel so deeply on the inside. Taurus can get very shy and very reserved and very hesitant. And the bigger you're feeling, the less likely you are to see it in reality. You know? It's hard to explain, guys. And what happens when you actually meet something so provoking in the real world and you're not used to exposing yourself? It's hard. It's hard to say, oh, Taurus, honey, just open up, you silly goose. It should be easy. Well, it wasn't. Because up until that point on your timeline, you didn't have reason to reflect on it. To be open up towards it. How does it affect you? How deeply? Why? And where do you take those thoughts and feelings exactly? Oh, I'd love to know. You're used to keeping that shit to yourself. I know that. Pay attention. Know the warning signs. Excuse me. Pay attention to the red flags. Some of you, opening yourself up to love scares the hell out of you. You have to keep in mind when they're combined, they kind of reflect each other. Okay? So are there red flags here? Well, if we just keep it to friendship, yes. But so long as the expression is on point, the Knight of Cups, this is the vulnerability right here. Open yourself to love. That's the Knight of Cups. That's their sole responsibility, is to open up and to be vulnerable. That's what we keep coming back to. Guys, it's not enough for you to express yourself. You have to be open to receiving it as well. That's the whole gig with the lovers, you know? It has to be chosen, all right? You want to start it at the Three of Pentacles, that's cool. Just as long as it's done so sincerely. I see you headed in that direction, honey. Queen of Pentacles. Speak to what feels comfortable to you, that feels natural to you. That's all any of us can do. Build into what the tools you have, or use the tools that you have, I should say, you know? I can tell this means a lot to you. Your energy's headed in that direction. Your physical energy is in 3D, is catching up to it. In fact, speaking of which... Yeah, within a week. Everybody's getting really short time frames this week. I too. Sometimes I'll see months, seasons out, years, and people like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "It weren't me, honey. It was the cards. That's why we're here." Everybody's getting some really short time frames. Yours is in a week. That surprised me. I was like, maybe Taurus will warm up in 5 years. But then that kind of begged the question, though: how long has it been suspended between you two, on standby, gaining perspective? Okay. You know who they are. They have a very vibrant display. And you're like, me too. But way the fuck down on the inside where no one can see it. So I can kind of see why you're attracted to them, because I'm going to go ahead and take a guess that on the outside they match what's on your inside. And that's weird, right? Right? That's weird. Unless you've experienced it before, it's really weird. Goodness me, I bet you have a very rich inner sexual world, honey. We're talking fantasy. We're talking waking fantasy. We're talking intuitive dreams. I'm thinking we're having sexual dreams about this person. I mean, you're like, yeah, all that shit. I didn't want to talk about that. Okay, well, it's here. So, talk about what's there, not what isn't. L, D, J, and the Ten of Pentacles, Tree of Life. Of course you fucking know this person. I mean, I'm sure that you two share an overlapping environment and or community. Obviously, your two roots touch. You know who they are. Okay, there's no way you don't. All right. And if you wanted to know if they're open towards you, yeah, that's why I'm seeing it this way, honey. They're very external. They would point that energy at you because they chose to. The Emperor and Empress choose based on empowerment principles. The sexual energy is no different. They would choose to point that at you. Okay? We gotta... Some of you, it's your Achilles heel. Opening up, knowing when and how, and allowing yourself to, and more, above all, feeling comfortable with it. Taurus, honey, I hope this helps you. You got the goods, honey. Look at this. Look at that. All right, you got the goods. It's all right here. All right? You look great. Your sexual energy looks great. Your spiritual energy, hidden, but for the most part, looks good. And your physical energies, too, like I said, are catching up to this. Okay, I hope this helped you. You know what? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that stubbornness. Look at that stubbornness right there. Look at that stubbornness. I bet some of you, I would put good money on this, some of you what I would call a sexual pretzel. I bet you get real flexible real fast. And underneath all that tightness and that stubbornness, it's like, is that what you want to do? I can do that. Oh, I bet. I just have that feeling about you. Look at that. Look at that. Everybody thinks you're so set in your ways. Everybody thinks, Taurus doesn't change. But I bet behind closed doors, under intimacy, you're like, I can, yeah, we want, I can do that. I would love to do that. I would love to do that. Let's do that. In fact, let's make it a little weirder. I would bet good money on that. But unless you've connected to the right person, you're going to feel the need to suppress that. All right, that's enough. I hope this helped you. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well. Virgo, welcome to your intimate tarot reading. I almost said, welcome to your intimate Thursday. It's like, wait a minute, that's not right. We're going to start with your Ace of Wands. What's going on, please? Show me that. Virgo, sexual energy, please. Intimate energies. You just stay right there. I'll get to you in a second. All right, what's going on, please? For Virgo. Ooh, our snow is melting fast now, honey. I can hear it. 10 of Wands. The Hanged Man. Lots of perspective here. 8 of Pentacles. You've been thinking about your own sexual energies and how they've been suspended these days. They have not been able to express yourself in a lighter manner, you know? And it doesn't just have to be sexual at this point. A lot of your good, powerful, focused fire energies have been pointed at work, and you know this. You've been aware of that. The best of your energies, your creative self, your passionate self, okay, your lights of path, your source of inspiration, once more creativity for some of you, emphasis on your work structures. It's been pouring into that these days, and I'm sure it's had its benefits, but you're also thinking, I think I spend too much time at work. Well, you might be right. Several folks have shown me that they use their fire energy all the time for the realistic everyday endeavors. And again, that's a form of passion. You can convert your energies, as many of you know, the stuff that lights you up and turns you on. You can focus it into others of your life, which you've gotten accustomed to doing. But you've suspended that recently. Like, do I want to keep doing that? Do I really want all my fire to be about work? Do I really want all my creative energies and sexual energies to be about work? So you've been giving this a good think. And 10 of Wands, you have been seeing your sexual energy, rather perceiving it as a point of frustration for you. It's not how you always want to spend the best of your energies. Okay, you would like to do other things, I'm sure, and to more intimate values. Let's put down that baseline, please. You know, some of you are wondering these days, when have I become all about work and putting all of my energy into work? Well, I'm sure it served a purpose, honey. You know, security, coin, finances, these are all real things. And sometimes we have to put the best of our energies into it, whether we like it or not. Some of y'all just might have gotten extra busy these days. It happens. But let's take a more intimate look at you. The Knights of Cups, the Hanged Man. See, you deep contemplator you are. Look at that. You're really considerate, aren't you? Naturally, just sexual energy aside, you're someone who is naturally very, very considerate. You really try to view multiple points of view, not just your own. Okay. Wow. Anyway, you've been thinking about your own sense of vulnerability these days, your own sense of romance, your emotional flow, where it's going and why, and you need some perspective on that. You tend to be very considerate, though. You try not to take things for granted or assume that you know. Okay. That's an interesting point. Five of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Five of Cups. My. Ten of Pentacles, the Star, and Judgment. You're looking a little soft sometimes. I can see where you got lost to work, and when your sexual energies got a little frustrated, a little heavy, a little burdened, a little weighed down, and you didn't feel much relief, so much these days, possibly in the recent past, that's when you started looking at your own sense of feeling and how it's going these days. Knight of Cups, where your emotional flow is. How's it being received? Are you feeling vulnerable towards someone else? Is it your cup, your knight? Is it being well received, for that matter? Have you been receiving sweet words of thoughtfulness and love, which is tying back to your sex? There's a sense of your sexuality has been suspended because, well, now that you've given a little more thought, it feels like there hasn't been a lot of sweet words between yourself and someone else. And then Five of Pentacles, I see it. There's breakage between this person. So chicken and egg, honey. Chicken and egg. And our ability to not feel someone's love, or we feel our love for them. Sometimes we bear ourselves in work and say, you know what, this is a better use of my energies. And it was up until a point, until it became laborsome and tiresome, and you needed more outlets that were positive as opposed to just productive. Big difference there. Just because it's productive doesn't mean it's positive, and just because something's positive doesn't mean it's productive. Like, that's the difference between a profession and a hobby. Yeah. And here you're kind of viewing your love and sexuality in a very similar way. And as a Five of Pentacles, like I said, breakage between you and this person, sexual breakage. There is a commitment here, Five of Cups with the Hierophant. Doesn't have to be marriage, but this is long-term partnership. Also reinforced further down the line by that Ten of Pentacles. So this person's sexual energy is kind of sad. It's a little reminiscent of the past and most likely how the sexual energy used to be. They're still there. They're still committed. Their sexual energy still points at you. Okay? But it's very sad. It's sad, and again, it's in that reminiscence of, it used to feel good, but I'm still here. I'm still here. And the Five of Pentacles, you both experienced that kind of sense of sexual abandonment. Have we completely lost all the sexual energies between us? And you think about your feelings and how sometimes it's easier to tune into work, and when you realize it's not everything, you tune back into your feelings, and you're like, oh, this mess is still here. It is. It's still there. Okay? The sexual energies have been neglected between two people. Of course, it takes two in this context. And therefore, the emotional energies. There's an equal division here, of course. Ten of Pentacles, the Star, Judgment. We got a lesson in here. I know people hate it when I say that, and I don't blame them. It's frustrating. Everybody's lessons are different. We have a lesson in here, an understanding if this is our forever star, and if so, we need to commit to it, and if not, we need to look at that too. The Star and Ten of Pentacles both have the suggestion of longevity. Okay? The Star, I continue to navigate my life and my sexual desires in this. Ten of Pentacles suggests I grew it in this way, in this hope, in this wish, that one would absolutely always relate to the other, and sometimes they do. The idea or the assumption here is that when we create a foundation, Ten of Pentacles, the tree of life, the way of life, everything we put ourselves into and why. It's a comprehensive build. Okay? And when we put a star attached to it, this is what I've always wanted. And I just kind of assumed it would always be this way. I navigated towards this star carefully and methodically for years, me and myself and my person, we both did. Is this what it's all about? What's the lesson in here? How come it doesn't feel the same? How come I feel disconnected from the plan, from the goal, from the vision? Mm-hmm. We find in the Pentacle world it's much easier to sustain. It might be time with that lesson to understand that your dream has shifted or changed between the one or the both of you. And you both need to understand if this dream is still for you, if it still applies, and if so, how you both can get back on the same page, or you need to start rewriting your histories or pathways to include new chapters. Okay? I need to get some advice for you, because yes, while I'm seeing breakage here, it's not full on. Okay? There's a separation already between the sexual energies and the commitment. I see that. But that's not the end-all be-all for people. It's just when we build a life around our wish and our hope and we honestly believe it's come true, we expect all the elements wrongfully. I'm sorry to say it. We wrongfully expect all the elements or assume that they'll stay in place, that they won't change. We change every day as people. As much as we try not to, by golly, we still do. It just takes us forever to catch up to the fact that we're changing, or the situation has changed. I mean, think about it. 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups. You two have changed. Your sexual energies have changed. How you two experience each other emotionally and sexually have changed. So you two need to figure out if this is still the same quote-unquote dream. Or is this the dream of the yesterdays? And it's no longer the dream of today. Or can you two find common ground to continue to perpetuate this dream, but in a healthier way? But the one thing we shouldn't do is to assume everything should carry on as is. Because that's what led up to this. Okay? Now, yours is very much proof, and I get this from Virgo energy all the time, that there's so much more to intimate tarot than just sex. If anyone shows that more often than not, it's probably Virgo. Okay. You showed me a whole way of life and how your sexuality and your sense of self and personhood and passion and drives and goals were all wrapped up into your sexual energy. You thought they were all one and the same. And for a while, I'm sure they were. Okay. Now, do I believe in the permanency of things? Yes, absolutely. Do I also believe that sometimes things come to an end? Yes, life is a compromise of both. They always will be, always has been. As one door closes, another opens. You two might continue to open the same door towards each other. But if you want a happier existence, you two are going to have to reconnect over a star, a new star. Okay? One that goes beyond just what we have in place. 10 of Pentacles. If it's accomplished, then you two need a new star. Or like I said, this might be where you two go for different chapters. I don't know. Let's get some advice, please. 2 of Cups. And Queen of Swords and the Ace of Cups. There's some recognition there. That's some honesty. Good. I need some of that more grounded reality to work with, and I think you do too. There is a sense of, yes, love is behind me, but it's not necessarily present. Good. Good. I know that sounds bad, but no, that's progress. That's absolutely what you call progress. It takes things out of the vague box and gives you something more tangible to work with. Knowledge, facts, insight. There it is. 2 of Cups. I recognize that the love was there or behind me, but looking at it now, in the here and now, I'm not here, or they're not here, or neither one of us is here, and this is a cold, hard truth. Let me tell you something. Queen of Swords gets a bad rap. She's quite the bitch. Just like the King of Swords is called quite the asshole. But I will tell you this. They deal in facts. Okay? Now, they can deceive themselves as much as anyone else can. But this is a conscious thought. And it's the first one I've seen that's not this vague sense of perspective that, excuse me, coming from you. No, I like how you gain perspective from other people and you don't try to take things for granted. But also, you are just as obligated as anyone else to have truths for yourself. This one needs to be worked through. The love was here, but it feels like it's behind me. What am I working with now? Emotional vacancy. I'm not quite here, and neither are they. It's kind of like you two conquered a world, didn't you? You created a whole life. And now you two, job's done. And you're looking at each other, what's next? Is this what we thought it would be? What happens when you have no more enemies to conquer or vanquish, and you no longer have a circumstance that you're trying to build up? You built it. You either find a new banner, common cause to rally and fight under, or you two start developing separate dreams and goals. The Chariot. 9 of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. There is fear here about moving forward, change, and one's abilities. Somebody here critically questions the other person's ability to change and their willingness to move forward or make change for themselves. That comes into question for at least one person. we can kind of accept the fact that feelings have changed and someone's emotionally absent, or you both are. That seems to be a fact that we can digest pretty easily. This one's not as easy. We know, you either know this about yourself or the other person. Someone here is uncomfortable with change. They don't like making change. They don't like new goals or moving forward. And yet you both suffer the same. Something to talk about then. Remember, no change plus no change equals no change. I know. I can see that you two share roots. This is the family tree, the way of life, the Ten of Pentacles, as discussed. I can see that your roots are important. And that strong sense of how will the family and etc. be affected, because we're all deeply tied to each other. I know. What you pass on, legacy. That's a real valid concern for Earth signs. I know. I suppose that depends on what you want your legacy to be about. We were able to stick through it to the very end, even if we were fucking miserable. Or was able to give myself a new legacy. Imprisonment, number 29. Some of you feel like someone here cannot change. Cannot change. It's done. It's done. Even if we're unhappy, it's done. It's done now. It's commitment. It's community. It's everything. It's we can't change. We're jailed. Yeah. Someone's. They don't think they can change. Too afraid to change. So that means someone here has to be the one that bears the key to the cage. We can either continue to perpetuate this idea of sameness being locked up in prison, or we can understand that we have the key. Someone else doesn't want to use their key, see themselves as free, that they are bound endlessly by circumstances. Then you are right. They will forever see themselves that way because they choose to. If someone sees themselves as that's you, you're the prisoner. I don't see myself as a prisoner. I see myself as the one holding the key, so I guess that would make me the jailer. I don't want to imprison you, and I don't want to imprison myself. Anyway, some people would rather feel the security of being in a prison than understand that they are free to make choices. Yeah, that sense that someone won't change or they won't develop new goals or move forward, that they'd rather stay the same. That's really real for some people. Right? Because at least a prison has walls, right? It has a sense of routine and sameness. Even if the motivation for building that jail is gone, it's done. The letter T, we have the dove. This is the first time I pulled that one. I included new charms several weeks ago. This is the first time I think I've pulled the dove, the sign of peace. We want peace. We want peace, freedom, release. A spirit to release. And the bicycle, for some of you, you actively ride a bike or it represents something to you. Profession or hobby, or for some reason, a bicycle in your life for some reason. All right, Virgo honey, I do hope this helped you. Complicated as it was, I think we got some good points out of this, but you let me know. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. Capricorn, welcome to your Thursday check-in. What's going on, please? Let's take a look at that. Capricorn, sexual energy. Show me Capricorn, please. What's going on? Show me Capricorn and that sexual energy. We're going to clarify the Ace of Wands, put down your baseline, and then some oracles as well. What's going on? The Six of Swords. Oh, yeah. Knights of Cups. The Wheel of Fortune. Okay. You're saying it's time you moved, at bare minimum, your emotionality forward. And you honestly feel with the Ace of Wands as your background that it's the right thing to do. That doesn't mean it's easy. That doesn't mean it's fun. But you honestly believe your passion is better suited by moving on. And your heart space, too. The Six of Swords, Knight of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune. You're saying enough time has passed. It's kind of like saying, I know when my emotions aren't welcome. Therefore, I should move my interest, my intrigue, my passion along. Okay? So you might still be passionately interested in someone in terms of their sexuality and or attraction, but you're like, that's not the point. And I agree with you, it isn't the point. You're saying you've had enough time here to reflect on your feeling And it's time you move your feeling forward, regardless of your attraction principle to someone else or something. Okay. So I think that's very wise of you. It's kind of like saying, knowing how to separate oranges and apples. It's like, I got an orange for somebody, but that doesn't mean I should be giving my apple to them. And I respect that. I do. That's a very strong distinguishing characteristic. Lists are so fun. For the Capricorn I'm looking at. Okay. So good on you. That's some good insight. I don't know how long it took you to realize it. I don't care. The point is you got there. All right. You got there for yourself, and that's what matters. All right. What's up? Let's put down that baseline. Let's see then if you're opening up to something else, if you're lingering, if someone's making it hard for you. I don't know. Let's take a look. I'm very curious, though. Show me. And thank you for getting to the point. That was quickly summarized. Like I said, Capricorn tends to be so efficient. More often than not. When I have to dig for you guys, don't get me wrong, I got to dig. Because if you want to bury something, you will. I'll tell you what. But for the most part, you guys tend to be pretty efficient with your energies, and I appreciate that so much. What's up? Okay, that's you. You are the star of the show, darling. Power card, boom. Power card, first card down. Beautiful. 6 of Pentacles. Yeah. Okay, so I know. The Emperor, the 3 of Cups. Okay, baby. All right. Yeah. The 3 of... I'm trying to like... I'm trying not to... It needs to be done. It needs to be done. Okay? You get 6 of Wands. Yeah. I want you to do what's right for you at the end of the day. That's all I'm really invested in as a tarot reader. That's what I want for you and for everybody. I want you to do what's right for you. Okay? That's it. Full stop. And I want people to do it with as minimal bullshit to themselves as possible. That's it. Okay? And then the idea is we learn our lessons so we don't perpetuate them. That's it. Simply put, don't be an asshole. That's it. That means taking responsibility and accountability for knowing thyself and knowing thy actions and where they come from. And okay. So you're saying, yeah, I'm attracted to this and I tried to make it work, but my heart's not in it, Christina. And it's time for me to acknowledge that. You're right. I don't want you to express what isn't there, because then that would be false. And that's why I admire people who choose not to stick around, because they don't want to hurt someone else's feelings. Well, you end up doing that by living a lie. So don't live a lie. For those of you who understand you're attracted to this, but your heart space is not able to proceed with it, you're not able to emotionally anchor to it, as I would say, or emotionally invest in it, or frankly, you just don't feel you can be vulnerable with it, you're saying you've had enough time to understand the difference. You're like, an apple is one thing and an orange is another. You're like, I'm comfortable with the orange, but I'm not comfortable with the apple. Okay, fair. And 6 of Pentacles, the Devil. Woo! Who's got a healthy appetite? You do. Yeah. The Devil in Intimate Tarot is still the devil. Very strong sexual appetite. But it's healthy, though, and you tried to keep it in check with this, but you also kept it to the physical. There is something about this connection that it's been around forever. You two share a 6 of Cups. And that means you're soul bonded. And if you don't believe in that, that's cool. That just means you've known that person for a very long time. You have memories with them, and many of them are quite fond. And in a way, you emotionally recognize this as being a connection that's important to you, but that you're not in love with it. Okay, so it's very important. And you're showing me something that I kind of have to point out to people, whether they like it or not. On occasion, 6 of Cups doesn't have to be romantic. There's no obligation. It's kind of saying this connection's important. It's here to teach you something. It's here to teach you something about you. That's its purpose. Whether or not we get to keep it and under what value we get to keep it, there's no guarantees. So you're giving me a good example of that today. I think you are very attracted to this. I think sexually you found yourself highly compatible to it. But it's kind of like saying, my heart's not in it, though. I tried. But you're saying it didn't fit. And then I'm sure you went through a period where you tried to keep it friendly only, right? 6 of Pentacles and just do a fair exchange. But you're saying you kind of kept with it out of habit, not necessarily emotional attachment, like as in love. Respect for the connection and being in love are two different things. That's the difference between a romantic Six of Cups and the Six of Cups. Okay? Respecting the attachment and being in love with it are two different things. That's why people can show me Six of Cups, but not necessarily be in love with it. I know, I pissed off a hornet's nest of Capricorn cross watchers today. I know I did. And it's not intended. I read what's here, not what isn't. That's how this gig works, you know? But hey, shoot the messenger, that's a saying, that's a cliche for a reason. So I'm going to, you know, it is what it is, guys. It's either yours or it's not. But the point is that you understood, you took the time to understand where this was coming from. You understood what it is you needed to do for yourself and how it is you were feeling and how you weren't feeling. And again, that's a lot of work that a lot of people just don't want to do. And I strongly insist, if I had one pushback on you, many of you kept yourselves connected to this out of habit, possibly sexual habit. Okay? And a sense of comfort, it's familiar, it's known to you. Okay? But eventually you understood your heart wasn't in it, and that did take time. Now over here, this is what's interesting. The Emperor and the Three of Cups. The idea of sexual empowerment is here for this person, but the emotional connectivity isn't. That's what's interesting. So I'm thinking there was a little bit of tit for tat in here. Because the Emperor and Empress in sexual tarot is great. It's brilliant. It suggests empowerment. I'm an exclusive person, right? I'm in touch with my sexual powers. They are, in fact, what make me me. And I'm very proud of that. I don't deny who I am, and I take full responsibility and accountability for my sexual and emotional endeavors. So even though you showed me the passage of time, and that you probably connected to this out of habit sexually, out of time, they're showing me Capricorn and I have a sweet Three of Cups. What? I'm confused. I'm a little confused. So that tells me then, and I think it's because of the Six of Cups you two shared, they were comfortable connecting with you low-key emotionally and sometimes sexually too. But it didn't develop further for either one of you. Okay. Otherwise, the Emperor and Empress tend to be sexually exclusive because they know what they're packing, right? No pun intended. Don't get me wrong, you're packing a lot of goods in there, honey. I can tell that you... Let me put it this way. You can contain yourself to logistics and schedules, and I'm not saying that you're out there smashing several times a week with this person. What I am saying is that when your physical energies would join, you had a ravenous appetite, like absolutely ravenous appetite. And at some points, it probably made you feel a little weird, right? But maybe that's why you were so comfortable with this person and you kept a pattern at it with them, is because it didn't make you feel weird or judged, you know? I'm guessing. And in some way, they gave that back to you. But they had low-level emotional investment despite the expanse of time. And you had enough time here to understand you weren't emotionally invested. So, that's what I'm saying, honey. I think you packed up your sexual energies towards this and moved on. Death, Three of Pentacles, Six of Wands. It's almost like saying we both know we're friends with benefits. They know it was only going to go so far, and so did I. The only difference between us and other people is that we didn't meet yesterday at some bar. We met like back in high school. We were high school sweethearts, or we were college compatible or something like that. And they were there. You two were there for each other, there for each other at a critical time in both of your lives. But not necessarily meant to be long-term partners, no. This is clearly, you and I were a hell of a friends with benefits. When we smashed, oh boy, it was awesome. And I felt so comfortable with you, and you felt so comfortable with me, but we both knew this was a limited experience. So again, I'm saying knowledge on both sides that this was going to come to an end. I'm saying a lot of sexual comfort between you two. And you two might have discovered your sexualities with each other. I think that's how far back you two go, but that you weren't necessarily... I am honestly convinced of that at this point, actually. I think what I'm looking at is a fondness of time. Not necessarily you two were meant to be each other's lives permanently, no. It is probably a really stretched out, comfortable version of friends with benefits. But it taught you a lot, you know, about your sexual self, and they learned about theirs. I can tell that they like to keep their emotions in check and in control. They kind of knew. They kind of knew it was going to have a top out, just like you did. Okay? I'm not saying it was completely easy for you, but we're accepting this. You are literally accepting the sexual transitional shift of I no longer feel sexually inclined towards you either. You know? We can let this go. We can let this go. Yeah, I think yours is incredibly straightforward. I really like yours today. It was very honest. And I also think it was powerful in its own way, especially the recognition of it. Seven of Swords, the Emperor, the Three of Wands. Yeah, they were kind of playing for time, weren't they? A little bit. I think you did it. Not that that matters. You're both subject to the ending here regardless. But they were avoiding it, playing for time, stretching things out over time, possibly distances too. But it was inevitable. It was what you call an inevitable call. I can see where this is where they failed to be an emperor here. You know? I'm not saying they failed as a person. What I'm saying is typically someone who prides themselves on sexual empowerment, they know when to call things quits. And when it comes to you, they just couldn't. They just couldn't. They avoided it. Man, you must have been dishing out some really good goods, you know what I'm saying? Ooh. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be crass. It is here. Seven of Cups, Nine of Cups. You know, emotional exploration, emotional fantasy, indulgence, exploration, being open to love. Okay, so you're wanting the full cups these days. That's where you're going. You want emotional expansion, not just the sexual expansion. You're like, I got that down. Now I would like the emotional piece that should come with these things. So 7, 9, 10, that's quite the acceleration. So for those of you who are wanting emotional richness, where there's something here to really grow into and find yourself in full love and support all day, every day, just splash around in cups, cups, cups all day long. Yeah, that's where you're headed. Okay? You want to open up to that because that's what you actually want. Okay, and like I tell you, you know, sexual appetite, sexual energy, can be a really strong foothold for some people. And for other people, that's just where they intend to start and stop with some folks. And that's one of the reasons why I read Intimate Tarot. Okay? All right. But I say good on you for knowing yourself well enough to see this for what it is, accepting it. You make things look easy sometimes, honey. Like you're putting leftovers into some Tupperware. And you're like, well, that's that. But I know you had a process in it. And they knew. They just... I don't think they wanted to get real with the ending. You know, stretch it out a little more for old time's sake, that kind of thing. You know, but you did what was right for you. That, yeah, there's more fish in it. You know that. You know that. And some of you, by the way, are very resourceful. Congratulations to you. That's actually what this means. But in this respect, obviously, it's fish in it. Yeah, there's bigger fish too. I don't know if you can handle. Can somebody handle your fish? That's the question, honey. Number 34, the privileged lady, and time is a thief. Some of you feel like your time got away from you, or the best years of your life, you gave them away to this. Nah, try not to be cynical. I can see where you might lean into that, but try not to be. That's just cynicism. That means whatever is waiting for you and all that emotional love and stuff in the future, you couldn't have gotten to it any other method. Okay, some of you are just now in the process of cleaning this up. And some of you, the privilege, don't let that fool you. Some of you had to earn your status. You worked very hard. You're quite the catch. Whether or not you're female doesn't matter. The point is you feel like some time was robbed from you or taken from you. I disagree. This experience, whatever this is, helped make you who you are. Okay? So when it's time for you to land the bigger fish, you'll be ready. Okay? You'll be ready. Yeah, I can see where you might have felt like time got away from you. I understand, but it's where you are today that counts, yes? That's what matters. All right. Let me check in. Miscommunication. You didn't think they'd understand. They understand. They just didn't want to address it. That doesn't mean that they didn't understand. Okay? Yeah, I know. New beginning. I want to start over. For yourself, you want to start over. Sometimes I see a new beginning in conjunction with another person. I want to start over with you. This is for you, just to be clear. Okay. We have the letters C, P, E, and we have the medallion of Cancer. Some of you have some very interesting Cancer in your chart, could be connecting to, or their season might be very important to you. All right, Cappy, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well.
Where is it, pumpkins?
I know. I know. Yeah, me too. Thank you for kisses. Thank you for the kisses. I know, pumpkin. I know. We'll have some. Oh, honey. Just because she can. She knows she can.
You're spoiled rotten.
I know. You completely take over when you want to. I know. Because you're a man. It's Scorpio time. It's Scorpio time. Yeah. You know, she's not a typical husky, but when she wants to be, stubborn. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Totally stubborn. You know? Just a quiet stubborn, though. Typically what people see online are those emotional huskies that are crying all the time. They're throwing tantrums, which I think is cute. That doesn't bother me at all. It never has with that breed. But with her, she's incredibly quiet, but quietly stubborn. I'm just going to sit here, and I'm not going to move, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to stay. That's it. She's a quiet protester. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Who's my good girl? You're still my good girl.
You're still my pumpkin. You're still my sunshine. Yeah. Scratch, 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 scratch.
Thank you. I need you to get down, please. I know you're being so good today. You're being so patient. Her daycare facility was closed today. Typically on my long days, I would take her, and I mean long days, I would take her there. You know, that way she has playtime with other dogs and she can run the track, all her little heart desires, right? Until she's absolutely exhausted, and I bring her home and she just collapses. But no, they're closed today. You're doing so good. Yes. All right, now, welcome to your Intimate Tarot reading. What's up, honey? What's going on? Show me that Scorpio sexual energy, please. What is going on for Scorpio? Goodness me. By the time I edit it, it won't be this long, but she was here for almost 5 minutes. Show me Scorpio. What is going on, please, for Scorpio? We're going to start with the Ace of Wands, see what your intimate energies are, and then we'll put down your baseline and some oracles as well. What's going on for Scorpio? Page of Cups, Six of Swords, and the Seven of Wands. Okay. You're saying you're moving your heart as well as your passions forward. You gotta go. You gotta go. But it's kind of a force of will thing. Just in comparison for Capricorn, I saw them distinctly leaving their passions behind or letting someone go thoughtfully, intentionally. Yours is like a have to. Boundaries. Seven of Wands. That means you're probably still very attracted to this, and your heart space might even call to it, but you're not allowing yourself to receive the signal or put out the signal. It's like you're Gandalf right now at Lord of the Rings. None shall pass. In fact, I gotta move forward, right, with your staff. So let's see what's going on. What's going on? Like boundaries, that's what's going on. I'm not going to accept any heart space. I'm not going to accept any passion. I'm not going to accept any bullshit. That's it. My sex is off limits, and so is my heart. I get that. What's up? What's going on? What's going on, please? Show me, Scorpio. You know these things I always want you to do what's in your best interest, always. I want to understand why, of course. What's going on? Talk to me, Goose. What's up? King of Cups, that's you. The Four of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Three of Pentacles. Well, that's no good. And that explains a lot of it right there. Eight of Swords. The World. Yep. Queen of Cups. Good. I mean, guys, I will see people in a variety of positions, no pun intended, regarding their sexual energy, their emotional energy, their spiritual energy. And, you know, I promise you by the time you're ready to let this go It's going to feel so much better, but you have to believe in it first. So I see why your boundaries up is because you do believe, you do indeed believe this. You've arrived to your own conclusion that is right for you, and you have to act accordingly. That's all any of us can do. What I am happy to see, that while you feel some sort of way about this, you do. You do. You're also saying how I feel about it is irrelevant because it sucks. Okay. You know what's so interesting? I distinctly remember this because it was such a strong impression. In your years and theirs, you were determined to call someone a friend. And in this one, I see you determined to walk away from a friend. You know, someone whom you actually have emotional attachment to, that you held out for a long time. I'm not trying to accuse you, honey. I read what's here, not what isn't. And that's us. That's our trademark. We tend to be emotionally stubborn. You know, that's why I give us the lecture all the time about be careful who you fall in love with. Because once we fall hard. You know? It's really hard to change how we feel because we are emotionally stubborn. Okay? And I'm talking to what I'm assuming is a developed Scorpio. You had very strong feeling towards somebody. Very. You're like, I know. You don't need to keep reminding me. And you held on to it for a long time. Your sexual energy, though, as far as I can tell, you didn't invest in it. Good. That means you were smart, no matter what your big old heart felt, right? And that's what it's like to be a Scorpio, me and my dumb heart. But I will say this. You didn't come. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came. The Scorpio I'm looking at, you didn't have sexual contact. Did your heart want that? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You were all in for this one. You loved him, and you loved him hard for a long time, and you held on to that as long as you could. I don't know what they did to deserve your love, but you just admit to me that you felt what you felt. You loved what you love. But you didn't invest in the sex. Page of Pentacles. There wasn't a lot to invest in there. Or you wouldn't allow it. Right? Well, it's kind of like that. It's where, you know, honey, it's really hard for us to separate our sex from our emotions. And the Scorpio I'm looking at, somehow, by some miracle, you kept them separate. What I feel for you is what I feel for you. But we're not gonna be physical. We're not gonna invest in that. You kept it small, contribution minimal. Them too. But yeah, no, it's like, really over here, I'm putting boundaries in place. I'm packing up my shit. I gotta go. I'm not in love with you anymore. I'm not in passion with you anymore. And I ain't trying to be connected to you anymore. Apparently there wasn't a lot to work with. Page of Pentacles. Right there shared. So they didn't give a lot either. Here's what's weird. The Emperor, Three of Pentacles, yeah, they were determined to call you friend. The Emperor, though, in this position, like I saw with someone else, a little misgiving. It's like they don't show up in Intimate Tarot unless they feel something that they can claim as true. Strongly so. They tend to represent sexual empowerment at its highest, so that also tends to mean exclusivity. So I know they felt some sort of way towards you sexually, but they kept it Three of Pentacles. Yes, we're just friends. Yet they meant it. We're just friends. And yet the sexual energy was there. Even though neither one of you invested in it, it was there. You both refrained. It's almost like they were trying to show off how strong-willed they were. I was like, then why are you connected? Eight of Swords, the World, Queen of Cups. Congratulations, you're done with that shit. Particularly the confusing element, Eight of Swords. What's going on? What the hell's going on? What are we doing? This doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. I'm tired of being confused. None of this makes sense. Why do I have feelings for you? Neither one of us invests in this properly. We don't screw each other. It doesn't look like you did. You keep calling me a friend. And yet I have feelings for you. You insist on connecting with me, but you don't give much to this. What are we doing? Why am I here? Why am I putting up with this? Why do I love you? There doesn't seem to be much to work with here. Maybe I should give this shit up. Yeah. I don't know what they did to deserve your big feelings. You would know. There's a whole history here. I'm not doing the history on this one. That's another reading for another day. You would know best. You would know why. I do know you chose to invest in this, love it. You protected it in your heart in some way, and you kept it close to you for a long time. But I can also see where you did not cross the line into sexuality. You said the whole damn thing was confusing and it wasn't worth the headache. Queen of Cups, and don't you feel so much better? You do. There's a softness in you, which suggests in future you're able to open up and actually receive instead of just strongly feel. Big difference. The King and Queen of Cups aren't that far apart. It's just the King of Cups is more noticed for being a strong feeler, but a quiet, silent feeler. Where the Queen of Cups tends to be more receptive. That means she's receiving, giving and taking love. Okay. You give this up, your heart's a lot less confused, and you seem to be a lot freer. So yeah, by all means, darling, set your boundaries in place. Continue to transition out of this, remember. And tell yourself often, only if it's true. Don't ever tell yourself falseness. But even though I see that you had a full heart towards this, I also see you falling out of love with it. So at some point when you're comfortable for the truth, I am no longer, you'll say this over and over again because eventually it will be your reality. I am no longer in love with this. I am no longer in passion with this. And frankly, there weren't much passion there, honey. I mean, expressed. I'm sure there was an undertone, but it's almost like they're saying, I had a friendly sort of passion for you. What the fuck does that mean? Even in the term of casual sex, it's not that casual. You still got to turn up for it. So I don't know what the hell this is to you. As far as I can tell, you got to walk away from it. You know what? This is confusing. I have no idea why I have these feelings for you. As far as I can tell, they didn't earn it. So I don't quite know why you had these big, but you can at least say, I didn't fuck you. I don't know what they was working with anyway, honey. But I know they were proud of it with the Emperor, and I would have said the same as the Empress. They were proud of whatever they had with the Three of Pentacles, dangling their bits and acting like it didn't mean shit. Okay. Well, you know what? It's not your headache anymore, so that's good news. You know, it's one of those things. I feel some sort of way towards you, but we're going to call you friend. Yeah. I don't know how long that went on, honey. I don't know what they did to deserve your love, but I see how you reinforced it. That's on you. That's your bit. That's something you're going to have to reconcile yourself to and forgive yourself for. And you recognizing that you got to put walls up between you and this person and keep on keeping on, that's a great way to start. You know? Let's get some advice, please. You know, maybe they don't give a shit, honey. They might have had your heart, but they didn't have your sex. I know that. So, score one for the team. And they didn't get that from you. All right. I don't know, but it seems to be an important point. And I think it is, because once more with us, our sex and our emotions are often tied together. The more deeply we love somebody, the more sexually we are inclined towards them. You think that's true for everybody? No. No, not at all. You know, they had some sexual attraction for you, but that didn't mean it did shit for them in the heart space. You know, some people can keep it separated like that. That's not who you are. So, yeah, if there's a point here, it's a good point. You didn't fuck them. Didn't look like they had much to work with. It seemed like they did. What is that? What would be a friendly fuck anyway? Think about it. Ugh. All right, Justice, Chariot. Seven of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, the Lovers. Take your time. But yes, what you're doing moving forward is absolutely correct. You are doing yourself or showing yourself justice. You are showing yourself justice spiritually, emotionally, sexually, the whole thing, by continuing to move forward at a particular pace here with the Chariot. I want you to continue to move forward at conviction. Seven of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, the Lovers. There will actually be a solid, and a real one that actually has something to offer and, you know, in time. And it will be a strong connection, the Seven of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Lovers. It will unfold gently but strongly into a future where there's actually something there, like I said, to work with. And it'll be a proper Lovers connection, one that hits all the major points. But no, this is, you know, you have to do what's right by you here. And I'm glad that you're moving forward with conviction, or moving on with conviction. Your heart knows it's right. Your spirit knows it's right. And your sex knows it's right. And something will balance for you powerfully in time. It's just, it ain't this. So I don't want you crying over spilled milk. But this isn't even spilled milk. It's more like spilled water. The idea is milk, at least it would have more nutrients in it. Something worth being sad over. This is water dripping from the garden hose. It's not a big loss. But I don't want to minimize what you felt. I see that you loved it. So to make it easier for you, did they feel the same? Why are you leaving? Bring it back to the point. Occam's razor. Simplest explanation is correct. Stay frosty, my friends. Okay. Separation. Yes, as we see, I see you continuing to divide yourself from this. The process is looking straightforward. Boundaries in reverse. With this person, for some reason, we didn't have our boundaries in place. I don't know what they were offering that had you put your wall in reverse, or you gave them the exception to the rule. They don't look like an exception to me. They look like the rule. This is the reason why you have boundaries. It's for time wasters like this. I don't know why. You're otherwise showing me that you would have boundaries, very strong boundaries when it comes to your heart and your sex. Perhaps you really were convinced this was the exception. No, honey, they were the rule. Most people are the rule. It's just not worth it. Okay, not worth disturbing your peace. No distraction is worth it. I mean, a 3 of Pentacles over someone who's empowered with their sexuality. Like I said, even if you believe or fully live the life of casual sex, you still got to turn up, so how casual can it be? I mean, what'd you two do? Shake genitals? I mean, so I don't know what they did. They got you to lower your boundaries. But I suppose you would know. Point is that you're doing something about it now. So live in the now, okay? You're a little wiser for wear. Redirect your thoughts. Yes, of course, like I said, when you get to that space where you can honestly say, honesty here, I'm no longer in love, I'm no longer in passion. It'll get easier, promise. It does get easier. All right. You don't give shit, you don't get shit. Remember that. Or if you don't think I'm shit, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem, honey. All right. And that's why we have boundaries. 31. Bad health. For some of you, you say this might put you in a bad mental space, emotional space. I don't know. I hope not. Take this one as a learning experience. All that's telling me is that you need to heal from this. Okay? That's all. Oh, 28. The romantic. This is either you or it's them. Maybe they think poorly of themselves. Perhaps someone is convinced that they have very little to offer in terms of poor self-esteem, self-image, or the love isn't real, or someone has a poor thought around feeling. It's indication of bad health, mentally or emotionally or sexually or spiritually from somebody. Maybe this person intersected your timeline when you were in a bad way. Okay, what does that say about them? Did they vulture you at a vulnerable place in your timeline? When you were recovering from something? Okay, and you thought this would be a good thing. You thought this would be a beneficial connection to you to help heal your heart. Perhaps some of you are recovering from a health issue. Who knows? And it got you at a vulnerable point in your time, which again would make them a vulture if they knew you were vulnerable. Okay. In occupation, perhaps some of you shared a common workplace once upon a time, number 34. Okay. that's enough of that. Scorpio, honey, I won't necessarily see a continuation of this for your next intimate tarot, but yes, I would like to see other things for you, of course. And you often get some really awesome, phenomenal readings, but we all get these from time to time where it seems lackluster and hum and what the hell was I thinking? What the hell was I Yeah, that means you're human. Every now and again, I get to tune into the humanness that is Scorpio. It is possible. You can't always be superhuman, guys. Contrary to popular belief. Those people who say Scorpio never gets a good reading, you haven't been around the channel very long. Most of the time I see very empowered Scorpios. It's like, this is my business and business is good. Kicking ass and taking names. That's it. Those are my two activities in this life. Kicking ass, taking names. Not always. Okay? This is the time where it's not always. But I like how you are a lot softer in the end. You're back to the heart space. It hasn't damaged your heart. Hasn't made you jaded or cynical. You're still a being of love and light, you know? Okay. We have the letter E, W, S. We have the medallion of you. Okay, keyword here being passionate. Yes, we are. Some of you might be double, triple scorps. Could have been connecting to a fellow scorp, or the season, of course, to us might be important. Imagine that. And then we have the medallion of Capricorn. Same. All right, and then we have the infinity loop and the snowflake. I see these as being together. We have to transform or freeze this idea that you two are soul bonded. I don't think so. Methinks not. Methinks not. No. Listen. Maybe they were good for a laugh. I hope they were good for something. Because I'm really, as I see oracles, I'm becoming increasingly convinced this person walked in on your timeline when you were at a very vulnerable place. So memorable. But that doesn't necessarily mean meaningful. So time to transform that thinking or freeze it. Okay. All right, Scorpio. You know what? I don't always do all the oracles. Don't always feel the need to. That's fine. Self-confidence, romanticism. Some of you had an image of yourself. An image of yourself. You thought they were like you. Yeah, it was a confidence issue. The way you perceived yourself was off. Or them. You saw more in them. That's very us. You saw more in them than they saw in themselves, or you thought that they would amount to more. There's a sense of romanticism here. I know. That was there. You weren't wrong. Perhaps someone pursued you out of ego due to a confidence issue in how they perceive themselves. And so there is a sense here of romanticism. It was there. You're not crazy. You're not stupid. Perhaps someone pursued you because of how poorly they perceive themselves, or they just wanted to know that they could. Ego boost type shit, you know? So they played into the romanticism. And it was really just a play. Yeah, something to think about. Yeah, it must have made them feel good keeping you around, even as a friend. Having seen that, you see this, the world? Close that shit out, close it hard. I'm just a tarot lady, I don't dictate shit. I'm just saying 2 + 2. You're done, that's it. End this shit, you're done, good, don't look back. Open your heart space to someone else who's actually worthy. All right, Scorpio, honey, I hope this helped you. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well. Pisces, welcome to your intimate tarot reading. We're going to start with your Ace of Wands, yeah? Show me that Piscean sexuality. Show me Pisces, please. Show me Pisces. Very good. All right. 5 of Cups. Okay. 9 of Wands. Yeah. The 7 of Swords. Yeah. The There's a sexual energy here that you very much tie or relate to the past, and you do your best not to think about it because it frustrates you, it pisses you off, and then you shut the whole thing down in Seven of Swords. Like, I don't like to think about it, I don't like to feel about it, I don't like how I used to feel attracted to them emotionally, sexually, or otherwise. Okay, I understand. It's a little harsh there with the Nine of Wands, and some people get into that space where they just want to shut it down, but it's not working, and that's because it's been largely unaddressed. That's why. So we can try to shove it away, shove it away, shove it away as much as we want, but until we actually address it first and foremost with ourselves, it's going to keep coming back up, such as you have been experiencing. So you've either been experiencing this or you haven't. That's it. Okay? Let's put down that baseline, please. What's going on? The Four of Cups, yes, I see that. Seven of Pentacles, that's a long winding road of unhappiness, emotional dissatisfaction, and sexual dissatisfaction. I understand. Queen of Wands, Seven of Cups, and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, there's attraction here between you two. It's kind of like, duh, right? Seven of Cups, Eight of Pentacles. They're showing me the willingness to work through some difficult emotions with you, but sexuality isn't one of them. Are they still attracted to you? Yes. But they're saying emotions first. If the emotions can't be worked through, then no. And you are showing me that you're just generally upset by the lack of emotional growth, sexual growth, expression, being on the same page with them, a lot of frustration. And yet the attraction remains. Temperance. Three of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles. All right, at some point, I see you two wanting to work out the basics of the mechanics in future, and that's a choice. I'm not telling you to do anything. This is the Pisces and the person I'm looking at, what they've chosen to do, okay? So you're showing me, like I said, in your opening, emotional and sexual frustration that's kind of long-standing, and yes, it ties back to the past, and it catches you up into the present day, and it's something, like I said, you don't like thinking about, right? Because we want the Ace of Wands, our passion, our sexual energies to be bright, to be bold, to be flavorful, to be expressed. So if all we feel is sadness and loss and reminiscence, and this is how it used to be, this isn't how it is anymore, and it pisses you off all over again, and I don't want to think about it. Yeah, nobody wants to think of their Ace of Wands like that. Nobody wants to think of their personal fire or passion like that. So I don't blame you. But like I said, the avoidance thing is only going to hold for so long. All right? It's going to keep coming up like a needle stuck in the record, or like when I have to repeat myself because I understand people aren't paying attention when I need them to pay attention to a critical point. So I indeed will repeat myself. All right. Seven of Pentacles, Four of Cups, like I said. This is deep, long-standing dissatisfaction that's emotional as well as sexual. Neither has been satisfied well for a while. Over here, like I said, Seven of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, they're showing me emphasis on emotions first, fixing and working through it. It's a little bit to work on it, okay? Let's work on it. And I agree that sometimes when things get off alignment between ourselves and someone else, you really do need to have the emotions first, but it's in this practice sense of I know how to get along with Pisces, and I don't think that's what you want. Yes, I'm sure people know how to get along with you, but we want our intimate partners to work with us a little bit more intimately, like they mean it. And that's the only problem I kind of have with what I'm seeing here is like, I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. Me working through emotions with them means things are just going to go back to the way they were. We have temporary peace where we have temporary satisfaction, but it doesn't solve the main issue. And I can see where you get frustrated. Okay, because it does look like we come back full circle with this person. They kind of have a standard fix-it approach with you, but nothing sticks or stays better. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where they're showing me, I can get along with you. I know how to get along with other people. Yeah, but I'm not other people. I need more of the intimate value. And you showing me that you're working through this intimately with me, not just, see, we work things out, we always do. I agree. Other than that, I'd say their energy is lovely, but it's kind of like an assignment you could give to anybody you have in your life. What remains here is the Queen of Wands. We need more of that sexual attraction between you two. It's there, but it's not flowing, and I don't know why. All right? It could be that someone's a little overly preoccupied with their material world and they don't want to give it too much thought. It's more like out of practiced habit, okay? It could be that you feel so detached from this at this point that you don't know how to cross the barrier with this person. All I can tell you is that I read what's here, not what isn't. I have to insist there is still sexual attraction running around between you two, but both of you seem to be at odds about how to access it. It's kind of like saying, I know you experience sexual energy. I know I experience sexual energy. How come we can't bring them together in a way that works for both of us? Right? And so in a way, you're like, I have sexual needs, you have sexual needs. How come we can't put them together and make them work? How come we can't be more expressive towards each other? How come we can't be more emotionally open towards each other at the intimate level? You know, this is between us, not them or they or whoever. This is between us. Can we see more of that? Yeah. Temperance, Three of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so in future, I really do see two people trying to work out their odds and ends, but it goes back to that pentacle value of working it out, making sure things are stabilized. And I respect that. I have a huge respect for the 3D. I live in it too, just like everybody else. I do. We want to build to the foundation, add upon it. I'm hoping temperance here is including sexual healing too, that you both can rely upon, like future building blocks that you both can access, better access your sexual energies, because you have it and they do too. But for some reason, your two attractions are not mixing together. It's like I do my thing and you do your thing. I have the sexual energy you have yours, but they're not necessarily meeting anymore over a common source of love. And that's frustrating. Yes, I can see why you're very frustrated with this, and sometimes you just want to shut the whole damn thing down. So Temperance, Three of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. Okay, I'll take that for now, just so long as you understand that it's working for you. I just know that if they continue to reapproach this as they always done, things will go back to a place of frustration. So I'm assuming that in future what I'm saying you to do is pay a little bit more attention to each other's sexual energies in a way that's a little bit more polite and inclusive of each other, including each other intentionally, as opposed to I just stay over here with my sexual energies and you just stay over there with your sexual energies, because that's not working. That's not working. I'm hoping I'm seeing a little better way of you two sharing together. I can tell that you two are deeply entwined. You've built a whole life together. That's very clear. Hopefully I'm seeing how you two are actually showing me the mechanics of sexual exploration, learning how to reopen towards each other in a way that makes sense to you both, that isn't overgiving or awkward, but it soothes you both. Okay? I'll take that for now. Because what we really don't need is any more emotional cooperation that they default know how to use as a skill with you and anybody. That's not working. You need more of the intimate exchange here that's just between you two. You two need a stronger intimate pattern of healing and reconvening your intimate energies. Okay. Let's get some advice, please. This suggests a little bit more sexual intimacy and consideration, but in a way that's cooperative and non-pressing. All right. And we'll take that as the building block structure that will help you, both of you, feel a little more grounded in your sexual energies in the future. We'll take that. All right. I know it's not the most mind-blowing of shit, but this is also what real tarot looks like. Okay. And this you may not be this Pisces. Cool. Check your other placements. This is for the person who needed to see it today. That's all. All right. Yeah, there's that Ten of Pentacles again. I can see that you two are very founded. Three of Wands, but Nine of Cups. And there's that sense of both of your pleasure, your sense of wish fulfillment. Nine of Cups is always on delay. I'm thinking that both of you have a tendency, although it's likely unacknowledged, of just assuming the foundation comes first. And then at the end of the day, when you two reconnect or reconvene, it's like you two are met with the tatters, the tatters and the shreds of the day. You must both be exhausted. You're always putting other things before you two, and that's just not going to work. Remember, it's you two that created the foundation, so therefore the foundation cannot exist without you two. So if you two aren't on the same page, neither is your foundation. So I can tell it's a priority for you both. So you two need to reprioritize yourselves. I don't know. Try saying that 3 times fast. I know some of you smart asses and you just did. Good for you. You know, when you have a lisp and or stutter, you get back to me. I'm not resentful of it. It's just people need to remember that, so I have to remind them often. 10 of Pentacles, 3 of Wands, 9 of Cups. Yeah, I mean, I feel like your wishes, wants, and desires get stretched out over that 10 of Pentacles. So guys, you know, remember, it doesn't exist without you. Understand you two deserve as much development as everything else that surrounds you. There will always be shit that surrounds you. All right? But if you two don't take care of yourselves and therefore to each other, what you built isn't going to be for much. So do keep that in mind. Sometimes you both have to know when to consciously stop and say, you know what, we're going to choose each other right now. We're going to choose each other's desires right now. We're going to take some time off, you and I. Okay? There you go. We're going to listen to each other, tune into each other. 9 of Swords, the Chariot, the World. Yeah, somebody has a very strong fear internally that this isn't going anywhere. I could see that. You're going to be left with that impression. Now, again, this is a fear, internalized. It's not in reality yet. But if we don't start making changes, that's absolutely where it could head. Yes, absolutely. Nowhere. We don't want the Chariot to stop. You have something good here, and if you two both want it, you have to continue to choose it. That means choosing each other more often than not these days than just your foundation. Okay. Engagement. Your love life is soon ascending to a higher level of commitment. Yeah, I mean, I already see the commitment here. So you can deepen that engagement, which I believe you two are doing more in future. Or we can try to keep it where it is, and I don't recommend that. Okay? Yes, I see a deeper level of engagement if you two come back together for the right reasons. Absolutely. I understand, you know what? This whole thing is a dud without us. Right? Look closer at the details. Some of you understand what I'm saying. Some of you need to refer back to your journal entries and things that you have documented, written about, or notice the finer details of what's going on here. Okay? I know. There it is again for the 3rd freaking time. Our thoughts are always preoccupied with that freaking foundation, the both of you. Neither one of you is a complete victim of this. You both contribute to this. You both have access to passion, but neither one of you demonstrates it because you both always deflect to your freaking foundation. And again, that's a very generic term. What does that mean? Family, friends, career, job, identity, environment, community, network, resources, everything else except you two are the priority. And our thoughts are always on it. Think about it, okay? Think about it. It's always there. You two need to give each other more consideration, and time wasters here. A lot of time wasting, okay? A lot of time wasting in there. And I don't mean it's not for a good reason. What I'm saying is resource chewers, okay? The little things add up. The hour that you agree to do this other thing instead of spending time with your person or your spouse is an hour that's being taken away from your two's connection when you two might have critically needed it. You see what I'm saying? You've given all to your foundation, now give it back to each other. Yeah, I know, there's a heavy sense of practicality. You or both you and your person have heavy aspects of earth in there. But practicality, somebody's leaning in a little bit to a practical function. It's got to be done. It's got to be done now, or it's got to be done yesterday. Relax. Whatever is here isn't going anywhere. I've seen the damn thing 3 times. Okay, that's okay. That's fine. And afraid. I'm afraid to continue as is. Yeah. I would be too. Like I said, everything you built isn't going to add up to much if it's destroyed because 2 people are neglecting each other. We don't want that to happen. All right? We have the letters E and L. We have the medallion of Capricorn. Oh, I'm sure. Some very strong Capricorn in your chart could be connecting too. We also have the medallion of Sag. We have the wolf, the sense of being cunning, instinctual, pursue at all costs, survival. And for some of you, some sort of instinct pulls you towards the moon. You are Pisces, so that would actually make a lot of sense. And here, of course, is your medallion, the seahorse. You have a tendency to keep a wealth of emotions to you or close to your chest. We want to do the opposite of that, honey. You need to release some of these things. And then we have the ladybug in reverse. It feels like we've had no luck on this one. Yeah, I could see where you would feel that. That makes sense. It feels like this is a no luck situation. No luck simply because you two actually are sharing a similar barrier and a similar process because you're used to it. And you got out of tune between your two particular processes. Okay, tuning into everything else all the time, except you two. Tune back into that and your luck will be on your side again, okay? All right, Pisces, honey, I do hope this helped you. That was a bit tricky, that one, but still good nonetheless. I hope it helped. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well. Cancer, welcome to your Thursday check-in. We're going to start by looking at your Ace of Wands. Doesn't that sound sexy? We're going to start by looking at your Ace of Wands, honey. See how you're doing with the intimate energies there and how it relates to your baseline, and then oracles, yeah? Let's see. That Cancerian, sexual energy, please. Show me that Cancerian. Sexual energy, what's up? What's going on for Cancer? Ace of Pentacles. The Nine of Cups. The Magician. Well, you go on then. I love that. That was quite the lift. Thank you. I needed that. That is quite the lift. I like it. I like it a lot. It's very simple but well-defined, and some of the best manifestation things are. So simple but well-defined. It has structure, but it's not so closed-ended that you exclude yourself from your own manifestation. So that's one of the biggest issues people have with manifestations. It's so overly specific, there's no way it can be delivered. But you're like, no, I have a simple manifestation. I want something that speaks to my own sense of wish fulfillment, i.e. desire, as the love as well as the fires here, and then also something that's real. That's it. That's all I want. I want real. I want the real deal. I want the real offer in love, wish fulfillment, as well as, sexual fulfillment. You're like, I want it all, but I also want it to be right for me. So that means I can't put too much rigidity on it. Again, the more angles and boxes you put around your manifestation, the more and more narrow it becomes and much more difficult to fulfill. So by all means, have standards, know what you want, but don't say everything I want is pegged to that person or situation, because that's a no-win situation. So I'm glad to see that you are showing me a kind of loosely structured, defined but not too defined manifestation. And it speaks to, once more, wish fulfillment, emotional, sexual. I love it. You love it too. You're like, I'm all about it. I'm all for it. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Okay. Yeah. There is such a thing as being defined, knowing what you want, standards, boundaries, and being overly defined. Well, when I meet them, they have to be wearing a blue shirt with a red tie, and they have to have green eyes, and they have to know how to tap dance, which they started taking lessons when they were 5 years old. You think that don't happen? Yeah. People get really weird. I mean, once more, I have to emphasize, we are not a checklist. We're not a grocery store item. Okay? People often have no idea who they're in love with until they're in love with them. Right? So, know the difference between standard and type, right? I could give a whole discourse on that. There's a big difference between having standards and having a type. People often confuse the two. Have standards and break out of your types. That's all I'm saying. All right. But anyway, point is, honey, I like your energy a lot. It's very nice. All right, what's going on? Page of Pentacles, Seven of Wands. Okay, careful. All right, a little cautious there. Two of Wands. Five of Pentacles. Oh, I see. Queen of Swords. Okay. Careful. So why are you showing me caution? You just showed me what the hell you want. Now you're showing me blockage. And it's like, but it's for good reason. It is for good reason. No, I don't blame you. That's cold as ice. I'll get back to that. Hold on. Justice, the Page of Swords, and the Empress. Yeah, okay, good. I have you. You've got some work to do, which... Again, that's not an insult. Don't take it as one. We all have work to do. I don't know why people get so upset when I say that. It's absolutely ludicrous. To say that we're perfect beings is a contradiction. It's not possible. We all have work to do. And you're no different. Clearly, you're in the space now where you have shut off your sexual energy towards someone. They used to receive it, not anymore. You're showing me very little investment. And Seven of Wands, you have your sexual boundaries up. It's like, I'm not going to invest over there anymore. I don't want to. I have no incentive. I've made that decision here. Two of Wands is in the present. Whatever it is you used to put your sexual energy towards, you've talked about it, you know? And you've talked about it with them. I think you were as honest as you could be. And you kept it present oriented, so that's good. I respect people who can keep their points of view, their arguments focused in the present. Okay. That's not to say you don't have a case history. Okay, a backstory. We all got a backstory, but you kept it focused on the here and now, so that's good. About why you won't be giving them any more of your time, energy, and effort, reducing it, but you won't be investing in that direction anymore. Queen of Swords, Five of Pentacles. Now, don't get me wrong, the King and Queen of Swords get such a bad rap, but they're informatic. This is what they do. They gather information. It's not their gig. I mean, it's not their fault that that's their gig. You know, that's just who they are. And I deeply respect the process. I respect all the elemental processes. It's just this one's very cold. It's very shut off. It's attached to the Five of Pentacles. Their sexual energy towards you is broken and withdrawn, abandoned, a little harsh, a little critical. You know, they don't think well of... Either they don't think well of sexual energy or they don't think well of sexual energy towards you. And it's a little cold, it's a little mean. It's critiquing. It's a little critiquing. I don't like that. I don't like that. You know? It's one thing, it's like with your person, you know what? You don't know how to kiss me right. And you know, this is why you stuck. Da-da-da-da-da. And instead of being loving with it, you know what, babe, let me show you. Kiss me the way I like it. Oh, there we go. That means we're investing. I want you to learn how to kiss me the way I like it. And I'll do the same things for you. You know why? Because I'm invested in you. I want you to be kissing me for a long time. That's why I want you to know. And I want you to know that I want you to know. Right? That's healthy. This is critiquing and, well, a sexual energy between us isn't good investment anyway. Well, so it's a little angry. It's cold shoulder. It's a little mean. It's a little cutsy downsies. Don't like that. Critiquey, very critiquey on intimate subjects. So not a lot of incentive there to change or want to change. And that's for you either. Why would you want to continue to feed your sexual energy into this or investment? If they don't appreciate it, why would you continue to do so, right? That's insane. Why would we do this? So the fact that you willfully put boundaries up between yourself and this, and you had a clear conversation about it, once more, completely respect that. Their reaction is their reaction. From this point forward, however, if you resonate, you need to do what's right from you. Again, what's more from your point of view as a person who is trying to grow and develop emotionally, spiritually, and sexually, because that's all in there with justice. You are going to literally be in the discovery process. Page of Swords is quite small, but it's banked by some very strong energy. You are literally in the discovery process of what's right for you, and you're growing into that. Who is meant to harmonize with me then? And how do I understand my own spirituality? How do I understand my own sexuality? How am I empowered sexually? The Empress. You're going to be discovering that. I do know sexual exclusivity is important to you. You don't like being open-ended. You like things to be, we're together. So the Emperor and Empress typically mean sexual empowerment because they are very selective. Now I can see sometimes people play around with their empowered energies and it detracts from them a little bit, but you're in a space now with the Page of Swords, you're growing into them, and you want to grow into them beautifully and powerfully, so that means that you have to be selective in future. That means you need to know what's correct for you, sexually, spiritually, emotionally, and so on. How do you harmonize against yourself? So you're going to go through a discovery period. You know, not one person, now that I'm thinking about it, is Show Me the Four of Swords, which is emphasis on masturbation, which is perfectly fine. I'm used to seeing it, is my point. I don't think I saw it at all. And that's saying something. That's very interesting. Anyway, you're really growing into who you are. You've changed a lot. And you want to better meet that change for yourself in future. When something balances with you just right, you want to know. You want to, this is correct for me. I see this in myself the way I see this in them. It's correct. I know it's correct. You want something that's fair, reciprocated, balanced, and speaks to you powerfully and makes you feel good about you, makes you feel good about your body and your own sexual energies. Yeah. You want someone to see that in you, to balance with you, and to see in you what's been there this whole time. Okay? So hence, I see that you're manifesting, and you do want the real deal, and you want it to speak to your heart as well as your loins. It makes perfect sense. Continue on in this way, and continue to grow into what you are now discovering about yourself, about your next sense of direction, how you feel about yourself, physically, emotionally, so on and so forth. It's all good. It's all good stuff. Just take your time with it. You're going to need to grow into it with the Page of Swords, because there's parts of you that have clearly changed, and you need to grow into those changed parts, you know? That's good stuff. Let's get some advice, please. Let's get some advice, please. Okay. I got it. Death, King of Pentacles. You know, that's an excellent point. Some of you might have some Scorpio in your chart, maybe some Earth. But that's a really strong value for the King and Queen of Pentacles to show me that. Well, this just isn't practical anymore. Oh. Valid point, but it's an obscure one given the subject matter. So something here is distinctly not worth investing in. And that's a very strong accusation from those folks. And you did say I'm reducing or completely withdrawing my investment from this. In fact, there's a wall. I don't invest in you anymore. I'm not sexually attracted to you anymore. I have energy, but it's not for you. And you're not big on giving me that anyway. So there is a sense of, practically speaking, this is non-functioning, not worth the investment, or the biggest accusation of all, has no growth. Ooh, that's a big stamp of disapproval from the King and Queen of Pentacles, because typically they're earthy. Once they get rooted or invested, they tend to stay there. So that's kind of a big deal. That's like the final insult. Is like, this has no growth potential. Why are we here? Ooh, that goes beyond sexuality at this point. You're saying it has no hope of future either. That's what you're pulling in for yourself, honey. Hope of the future. My. No, you weren't wrong. The Hanged Man in reverse, the time of contemplation is over. The time of new perspective is over. You've given this a lot of thought. And I think that's why you showed me emphasis on the present. You know, the communication's now, and you try to keep it in the here and now. But no more perspective on this. Okay. Time's up. Over. Wow. Back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. All right. Queen of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles. There we go. Slowly making our way to a heart space. Boom, boom, boom. Very slow, but lovely. Lovely all the same, and very sincere. Nice. A much fuller cup and a stronger or fuller sense of sexuality too. That is there. Yeah, someone moves slow. That's okay. Someone likes the slow dance. They like the slow attraction. They like the slow sexual build. Good. Good. All right, cool. I like it. I love it. I want more of it. Let's go. Stay optimistic about the separation. You know it's correct because it's correct. That's it. And we want unconditional love. Okay? When I see unconditional love in an intimate tarot reading, that kind of tells me that somebody's sexual energy then was very conditional to how they were feeling, the mood they were in, if they were happy or not, if somebody was making money. I don't know. If you can't give yourself freely, don't get me wrong, you know, common sense dictates that most relationships are conditional to some extent, but there's some areas that really should remain without a transaction attached to it. And myself personally, I believe sexual energy is one of them. You know, you having a good day should not change how you treat me intimately. You see what I'm saying? That suggests instability. We can't have consistent good energy towards our partner. I'm not saying you two have to have sex every day to prove your love. What I am saying is that, you know what? I had a bad day. So I'm going to make sure you have one too. That means someone's good feeling is always conditional upon what's going on with them. So that's just an example. It's a small one. But yeah, I don't know. Some people say unconditional love is for pets and children, and I don't disagree with that. Some say with partners, there's a lot more conditions. I don't fully disagree with that, but there are some elements that really should be free and clear of transactions. I'm just saying, call me crazy. I don't know. Actually, that's not true. I actually know exactly what I feel, but I'm only going to share so much. Okay. The wealthy man, some of you the 13, some of you identify with this, you hope to prosper. Yeah, I can see that you have very strong practical roots that concern here of growth, instability, recognition, responsibility. It's kind of like saying, I have a lot to offer, just from the masculine point of view. That doesn't mean we're arrogant, that doesn't mean we're cocky with it, but there is a simple truth here of I know my worth and value, and while I may not be worth a lot in terms of a bank account, I know who I am worth personally. And when somebody strongly said, this is not a good investment, it's going to come from somebody who knows. Okay. Just pointing it out. 13 for some of you. Very strong number. You might have some very interesting Scorpio in your chart, by the way. Unexpected income for some of you. There might be an unexpected opportunity and or coin, possibly work endeavors, or it could be, unexpected income. A gift, an opportunity either given to you or you give to someone else. I'm not quite sure. FYI. I'm not saying it is attached to your new opportunity and something meaningful to you. This is something that the wealthy man, I believe, would give. It's extended by his or her hand. Okay? The opportunity that you present to someone else because you should know your worth. That's just how I'm seeing it. Number 27. All right. Oh, okay. We have the letters B, D, E. You had to give me the 3 most ridiculous letters in Intimate Tarot, did you? BDE. Yep. So that's how that goes. All right, we have 2 medallions here, Aries as well as Scorpio. The keywords here being courageous as well as passionate. You could have any of these very strong signs in your chart. Could be connected to, formally connected to, or connected to in future, or their seasons might be important to you. All right, and then we had a little bicycle. For some of you, the bicycle is some sort of important symbol. Perhaps some of you cycle, hobby, professional exercise. I don't know. For some reason, you like your bike. Or it's a fun symbol in some way. All right, Cancer, honey, I do hope this helped you. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well.